You ever follow every rule in the book, do everything right, and still get absolutely bodied? Yeah. Meet our guy. His whole villain arc, gone. And he's the most confused person in the room about it. His signature move did less damage than a strongly worded letter. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our MC, the big bad demon king, Berzedeus. Currently dying, not great. The hero didn't even break a sweat, just walked up and put a sword through his armor like it was wet paper. He, Berzedeus, was meant to be superior to everyone. Top student, top graduate. He followed the Demon King's playbook like it was gospel. He did everything it said. Build a tower, kidnap princesses, then nurture the heroes who showed up to rescue them. Yes, you heard that right. Nurture. Killing heroes too early was a waste, the book said. They had to marinate for a bit. The stronger the hero, the tastier the snack. Evil master plan. Very efficient. He followed it perfectly to the letter. Conquering this world would just be a matter of time, he thought. So why is he here? Defeated, bleeding out, a literal demon shish kebab. How did this go so wrong? The smug voice cuts through his existential crisis. You demon kings are all the same. You caused this yourselves, then make that shocked Pikachu face. I genuinely don't get it. The demon king glares. What nonsense was this guy spewing? Nonsense? The hero scoffs. You kidnapped the most famous princess. It's like a neon sign saying, Demon King here, come stop me. Yanks bares his hair. Are you an idiot? If it were me, I'd kill the king. Total chaos for the kingdom. But that's exactly what the playbook warned against. Kidnapping the king causes civil war and takes attention away from you. And without enough attention, you can't power up properly. Like an influencer with 0 likes. Hero laughs, and if we don't come to you, you very kindly send monsters to our villages for training. And at the tower, it gets even better. You put the weakest monsters on the first floor. It's literally an XP farm. Perfect for hero training. Urza thinks, duh, that's because you never let the heroes die early. You need them strong to harvest more energy at the end. That's literally what the Demon King's playbook says. The hero pulls out the blade. Blood sprays. The final horrifying truth is laid bare. When the tower gets boring, we just kill the Demon King. Then a new one pops up with a new tower. A perfect hunting ground. Tailor-made for heroes. Designed, maintained, and sponsored by him. The other heroes cheer. Thanks, Demon King. You're the best. You're our demon godfather. Thanks for the perfect training ground. Me, your godfather, and my tower, your training ground? The audacity. The hero chuckles. You were strong, though. More heroes died this time. But that's fine. More fame for me. Anyway, goodbye, Demon King. He raises his blade. Something in Berze snaps. This humiliation. What was that stupid playbook for, really? He refuses this pathetic death. Powers up on whatever's left. I am the Demon King, he rages. But before anything can happen, the hero swings and sends his head flying. The whole hall spins. Then, thud, he hits the floor. Those lowlifes who dared insult him will pay the ultimate price. He stares at his own body from across the room, which is a sentence he never thought he'd think. The head hero is calling dibs on his head. The body starts glowing. A rift tears open. The hero is caught off guard. In his last act, the Demon King vows to take every single one of them down with him. The hero's eyes go wide. A blinding flash of violent purple erupts from the body. The explosion rips through the throne room, wipes out everyone inside. Good riddance, you freeloading scrubs. His consciousness fades. Berze understands. The playbook was a lie. The heroes were just toying with us. If I'd known, I never would have followed it. Prays for one more chance, so he could toss that book to an orc to use as toilet paper. And you guessed it, folks. He got his wish. From the darkness, someone calls his name. Hey, quick, before he wakes up, give us a like and subscribe. Suddenly, his eyes snap open. He's in a grand hall surrounded by students. Total confusion. Is this the afterlife? What is this place? Am I actually alive? A small figure on stage calls out, Berzedeus, step forward. He slowly walks forward as the impatient figure urges him on. He's still in a daze when another voice calls him. An older, vampiric dude asks, Berzedeus, why the antics on graduation day? He pins a red badge on Berze, symbol of the Demon King Officer Academy. This means he's at the Demon King Officer Academy's graduation. 15 years ago. He's back in the past. No idea how, but one thing's clear. This is his freaking chance. The announcer pipes up, time for the new Demon King's oath. Top grad Berzedeus will read it. He turns to the crowd. A holographic screen appears, displaying the oath, the Demon King's playbook. He stares at the words, the very rules that caused his humiliating death. That damned playbook? He remembers. He dedicated his life to this playbook. What a joke. It was trash, he scoffs. Just a hero's toy, leading him to his death. Now, in front of everyone, he's supposed to read it all again. He's supposed to swear publicly to follow this garbage for life. Faculty look proud. Berze, however, grits his teeth, 15 years of rage burning. The cheerful announcer calls his name, urging him to start reading. Try as he might, he can't force himself to do it. I refuse, his voice echoes. The entire student body is absolutely stunned into confused silence. Burza finally erupts, voice raw with fury. I refuse such a stupid brain-dead vow. Following that playbook is pathetic and idiotic. It's nothing but garbage. The crowd absolutely loses it. Shock, outrage, and shattered glasses fill the hall. Berzadeus, the Academy's greatest student of all time, has now become their greatest headache. A few moments later, the Grand Duke Alkane Blamif slams his fist down, like a man who just found out the Wi-Fi is down. Insulting the Demon King's playbook is a death sentence, he roars. Ordinarily, this would be unforgivable. But your record has earned you an opportunity to make amends, the Grand Duke says. Blamif gives Burze one last chance, apologize, or his first assignment will be the cursed dimension of Arene. The crowd gasps. Arene? That's the Demon King graveyard, folks, where rulers go to die. They're shocked. This blasphemy deserves instant death, not a second chance. Blamif warns him again. Arene is hell on earth, a literal cemetery for demon kings. Burzi does not blink. He looks up with the energy of a man who has already done the math and doesn't like his odds but doesn't care. Send me there, he demands. I'll prove that playbook is trash. That's it, Blamif snaps. Banishment to Arene, effective immediately. Burzi had one job, say sorry. He did the opposite. No benefits, no companions, nothing. He's forbidden from returning until he conquers Arene. As he plummets through the sky, Burze is weirdly at peace. Well, that was a scene, he thinks. Still, I'm back here again. He's falling straight into Arene, the very dimension he went to in his past life. In the past, he arrogantly chose Arene, thinking its difficulty matched his skill. That arrogance killed him. The heroes here had already had the cheat codes. He crash lands in the snowy northern Ergasti Mountains. Standing amidst the crater, Burze is resolute. I won't fall for it twice, he vows. This time, I'll use it instead. The hero's playbook. But let's rewind, because before all this chaos, there was a very well-dressed demon having the best day of his life. Meet Gordon Derrick, top graduate of the Demon Retainer Academy. Sharp suit, sharper smile, currently convinced he's about to be famous. This academy trains elite butlers to assist the Demon Kings. The other graduates watch Gordon with barely concealed envy. He gets to serve the legendary Lord Burze. Gordon offers a polite smile, saying their Demon Kings will be great too. Inside, he is smug beyond description. Nobody compares to Burze, the gap is simply enormous. He's ecstatic, serving an eternal genius from the great Demon Dragon clan. He daydreams of them conquering worlds, immortalized in statues. He looks toward the stage, heart full, ready to begin their legendary partnership. And then he hears it. From the stage, Burze roars, the Demon King's playbook is nothing but garbage. Gordon's brain buffers for a moment, then his beautiful fantasy shatters into a million pieces like his glasses. Back in the present, Gordon stands in the frozen Ergasti Mountains, staring into the distance like a man reconsidering his career path. He was the top retainer. Burze was the top demon king. This was supposed to be different. Burze walks over. Good to see you, Gordon, he says, extending a hand. Gordon immediately demands answers. Burze just plays dumb. Something in Gordon snaps. He grabs his own hair, cycling through the playbook, Arene, and a detailed projection of his own death. Burze tries to calm him. Dude, you're gonna rip all your hair out. Gordon shrieks. Who cares about hair right now? Burze is surprised. The Gordon he knew was cool and confident. This Gordon is different. Better not mention his whole regression thing, it might freak him out more. Gordon finally calms down, tearfully apologizing. He starts discussing rule number 1 of the playbook. Build a tower. It can't be hidden, so heroes can find it. Gordon explains this location is terrible. Harsh, hard to reach, full of monsters. They should move. Burze gets into a ready stance. No, I'm building a tower right here. Gordon's eye twitches. He plants the seed of the tower. It will grow into a fortress when planted with a Demon King's blood. Gordon is horrified. This violates the playbook. Have you no pride as a demon king? Burze sees Gordon's disgust. It's hard to deny a faith so deeply ingrained. It takes death to break that conditioning. He knows he was once exactly the same. Without a word, Burze slices open his palm. Listen, Gordon, he says, dripping blood onto the seed. The playbook is garbage, especially in Arene. Gordon watches stunned as the seed of the tower glows with an overwhelming red light and starts expanding. The Demon King explains why the book is useless. Arene has too many heroes, a whole darn lot of them. The power system activates, scanning Burze's race and name. Recognition complete. The summoning begins and a massive structure erupts from the ground. This is why demon kings die here, Burze explains. Their towers get swarmed endlessly, and one day a human reverse-engineered the whole system. Gordon finally puts it together. The sacred, holy, ancient playbook is a hero's manual. The irony is nuclear. The last stones click into place, the tower looms over the landscape, dark, massive, and deeply committed to its aesthetic. Gordon stares in awe and horror. The Demon King built it right in enemy territory. "Let's go inside," Berze calls out to him. They step onto the first floor to find a colossal, completely empty hall. No monsters, no traps, just vibes and cold air. Normally, a Demon King's tower should be a monster-filled maze, but it's barren. That's what you get for having a very public meltdown at your graduation ceremony. Gordon decides he can't change the tower. He insists they follow Playbook Rule 2 properly. The rule: kidnap a high-ranking prince or princess to maximize magic energy. In the throne room, Gordon formally offers his advice as lieutenant. The closest kingdom is Kordzin. Target a princess from there, absorb their rage, grow stronger. Gordon expects debate. Instead, Berze just goes, "Good, let's do that." Gordon blinks. "Progress?" Then Berze adds, "I already have someone in mind." Gordon offers to help. Berze shuts him down. "Stay here, guard the tower." Gordon is not leaving the building. Gordon is relieved. Berze is finally acting like a proper Demon King. This is the real beginning. As Berze prepares to leave through a portal, Gordon asks who he's targeting. Berze's target isn't the closest. It's the furthest nation at the continent's southernmost tip. Destination: the Kingdom of Hilderan, which is, to be clear, as far away from the logical choice as physically possible. He flies up to a balcony window, peering into a lavish room. His target, the one with the least influence, the 13th princess. Appearing against the full moon, Berze announces, "I came to get you, princess." Back at the tower, Gordon is in complete freefall. The wrong kingdom, the wrong princess. This man is going to age 20 years by chapter 3. So anyway, the princess is looking at this tall, imposing dude. She asks who he was. Berze states plainly, "I'm a Demon King, and I came to kidnap you." But here's the kicker. Instead of screaming for help, the princess giggles. With a disturbingly cheerful smile, she asks, "Will you be able to handle me?" Bro is completely baffled. He wonders for a moment if this was a trick question before replying, "Of course I can." Then she does something even weirder. She holds out her hands, beaming, and says, "Then just capture me. I won't resist." Berze's confusion officially maxes out. Berze is convinced she's plotting something. She, however, calmly explains that as a princess, she always figured a day like this might come. Berze isn't buying it. He tells her he's not falling for any cheap tricks. She denies it. She didn't even know he was coming tonight. She's got a point. But still, this whole situation feels seriously off. The princess extends her hand. "Shall we go then?" With a whoosh of demonic wings, Berze flies back to his tower in the snowy Ergesta Mountains. He lands inside his barren tower, princess in arms. Berze tells him to find a suitable area for her on the 4th floor. Gordon's like, "Not a cell?" Well, she did come without a fuss, so Bears is inclined to cut her some slack. "Understood," Gordon replies. Meanwhile, the princess is left all alone in a massive empty hall on the 4th floor. She collapses to the ground, feeling the cold, hard floor, reality finally sinking in. She thinks about everything she's lost. No pillow, no blankets, no handmaidens, no beautiful gardens, nothing at all from her kingdom. Girly is speedrunning luxury withdrawal. An unreadable look flickers across her violet eyes. "It's not bad," she declares. "Yeah, you heard that right." Back with Berze, Gordon informs him an invitation has arrived from the Tower of Beasts. It's supposedly a welcoming party, but Berze scoffs. He knows it's just a pathetic excuse to haze the newcomer. Demon Kings are usually prideful and don't work together, but the unique nature of Arene forces them to band together. In his past life, he just dismissed them all as weaklings. Simple as that. But this time, he figures a little light interaction might be in order. Growth, people, growth. They arrive at the Tower of Beasts, a massive vine-covered structure deep within a jungle. On a throne, licking a massive slab of meat, sits Draxon. "My name is Draxon, the Beast Demon King," he growls. He tells Berze he's been ruling this place for 70 years. Big shot, right? Draxon sneers, claiming he heard Berze was a playbook-insulting troublemaker, but he doesn't look like much. Berze is completely unimpressed. "Did you call me here just to pick a fight? Get to the point," he demands. Draxon reveals that Grand Duke Alkane himself told him to keep a close eye on him. Berze, unfazed, casually refers to the Grand Duke as that noisy old vampire. This enrages Draxon. "How dare you refer to Grand Duke Alkane that way? You must have a death wish." He smashes the half-eaten meat onto the ground right in front of Berze's feet. "I'll lick it," Draxon growls. "Then I'll forgive your rudeness." Classy. Berze remains completely calm. He asks if Draxon knows why he was sent here. Draxon scoffs, "I know, you fool, because you insulted the Demon King's playbook. According to that playbook, Demon Kings must not kill each other," he says. He stomps on the meat and unleashes a sliver of his power. Do you think I'd follow such a petty rule?" Berze glares. Chad energy right there. Draxon is terrified. This dude's got incredible guts. He reveals that Alkane ordered him to watch if Berze kidnaps a princess, and if he doesn't, well, he gets cut off. As Burzay casually walks away, he drops a bombshell. He already kidnapped a princess. However, it's a woman of my own choosing, Burzay adds. Back at his own tower, Gordon praises Burzay for magnificently showing the dignity of a demon king. Burzay brushes it off, saying Draxon can't do much for now. He then orders Gordon to check on the princess was up to. Left alone, Burzay sighs. This whole situation is turning into a massive headache. Fallout from insulting the playbook is bigger than he thought. Still, he has zero regrets. He'd rather die than bow down to that garbage. Our guy is dedicated. He won't repeat his past mistakes. He checks his magic points. He's expecting a few hundred magic points from kidnapping a low-level princess. The number displayed is 13,000 points. He can't understand it. Why did so much accumulate? What did he even do? Suddenly, a notification pops up. A video message from the Tower of Beasts. Oh boy. It's Draxon congratulating the new Demon King. He says their first meeting was unpleasant, but he has to praise him now. He's impressed, admitting that pulling off something so amazing in Arin is difficult. A cold dread washes over Burzay. He realizes something has gone horribly, terribly wrong. Just then, Gordon bursts in, panicking. My lord, we have a big problem. The fourth floor is completely transformed. Once barren hall was full of life, like overnight magic garden. This is impossible. The cold, hard stone floor has been replaced by a vibrant, living paradise. A status screen reads, Naturalization in progress. In the center of it all stands the princess, surrounded by tiny elemental spirits. She created nature inside the magic tower. This can only be achieved by mastering all 4 elements. There's only one genius spirit mage on the continent capable of that. Uh-oh. He stares at her and says, You're not the 13th princess. The girl replies, So you did mistake me for Elena, after all. Then, don't tell me your Burzay trails off, dread filling him. The triumphant, almost wicked grin, she announces, My name is Ernyan Hilderan. I'm the first princess of the Hilderan kingdom. Oh, Burzay, you done messed up. Meanwhile, back in the Hilderan kingdom, panic erupts. The crown princess has been kidnapped by a demon king. The king roars, his eyes glowing red. How dare they take my most beloved crown princess, Ernyan? Behead that foolish demon king, he commands, and bring back my princess. Ernyan just grins, twisting the knife. That's why I asked if you could handle me, you know. Burzay is absolutely floored. Spirit geniuses radiate mana, so how'd he miss this? She flashes a glowing ring. It's a royal treasure, she explains, that completely masks the wearer's mana signature. The cheeky look, she asks if he's going to send her home now. Burzay is utterly speechless. If he sends her back, he's a total joke. No kingdom will ever fear him, and his magic points will vanish. Welp, guess he's got to see this through to the end. Suddenly, a system notification. His magic points have exploded to over 19,000 and multiple sources of anger detected. Looks like his cover is blown. They know about him now. No backing down now. She will remain his hostage, he declares. Meanwhile, back in the Hilderan kingdom, the king is absolutely losing it. From his throne, he yells at his court, Behead that foolish demon king and bring back my princess. The aide nervously explains they still don't know which demon king did it. Scouts are out, but no leads. The king absolutely explodes. How dare they dawdle while his crown princess is kidnapped? An advisor steps up, pointing out something strange. Remember the lust demon king who kidnapped another country's crown prince recently? That guy got bodied instantly by heroes, so why would a new demon king pull the exact same stunt? The other advisors gasp, the implications sinking in. The king grips his throne, trembling with pure rage. He snarls, finally getting it. It's a new guy. Just then, a scout bursts in. They found a teleportation circle trace heading north, to the Ergesta Mountains. The king's eyes go wide. The Ergesta Mountains? Meanwhile, back at the tower, Gordon approaches with a warning. Hilderan's army will arrive soon, he tells Burzay. Can a freshly spawned demon king with no resources handle that kind of heat? Burzay just grins slyly. It's fine, he says. Hilderan can't actually send its troops. His tower is way up north, while Hilderan's way down south. There's no way in hell those countries in between will open their borders for Hilderan's army. With their army stuck, they'll have to call the Hero Guild. And that's exactly what happens. The king, out of options, gives the order to contact the guild. But, surprise? No hero wants to take the job either. No one signs up to be hero just to die. Burzay grins. He knows heroes are just greedy scrubs who won't risk it for a dangerous job. That's exactly why he set up shop in Ergeste. Gordon is legitimately floored. Burzay's not following any playbook, but he knows Arian too well, almost like he's been here before. King of Hilderan is absolutely losing his mind again. Not a single spineless hero is stepping up. What a facepalm moment. So many heroes, but no one won't move a muscle unless the payout is massive. All right. He's got some time now. He scrolls through his tower's upgrade menu. He knows his current points can't handle a full hero army once they attack. He remembers just how terrifying their overwhelming numbers can be. He turns to Gordon. Contact Draxon. I'm selling my magic energy for human cash. Gordon's brain absolutely short-circuits. What do you mean, sell magic energy? He totally loses it. Magic is dream currency used for everything from towers to summoning demons. Selling it for human cash is insane. Berze remains chill. He can't stop the heroes with what he's got, but with human cash, he can do something. A while later, he heads to Horton Work, a fortress city just outside the Urgesta Mountains. Cloaked and hooded, he approaches the city gate. Guards stop him for being sus. With a simple flick, he tosses a gold coin. Problem solved. But he knows he still can't just move around the city freely. Time to find a guide. The scene shifts to the rowdy Red Hawk mercenary headquarters. Someone mentions rumors of a new Demon King tower in the mountains. The chief laughs it off. Demon Kings always build where heroes can find them, duh. But the Demon King also kidnapped Hilderan's crown princess? The chief laughs even harder. Who'd go to the edge of the continent just to kidnap someone? Another guy jumps in, adding that the Hero Guild refused the job even for a mountain of cash. The room booms with laughter. The chief says the heroes are just milking the payment because the princess is so valuable. You all know how obsessed heroes are with cash, right? He roars. His men enthusiastically agree. A sinister voice cuts through the laughter, right behind him. So that's how things are going. The chief screams in terror. Who are you? Berze gives a menacing grin. You guys seem pretty well informed, perfect as a guide. 3 enraged mercenaries charge forward, blades drawn. In a blur, Berze brutally takes them all down, sending them flying. A huge goon swings a massive club, but Berze blocks it with one hand, grinning. The mercenaries' eyes widen in terror. The rest of the guild charges, but they're dispatched just as easily, sent flying and crashing into walls. Outside, passers-by hear the commotion and think it's just another day at the Mercenary Guild. Back inside, the tavern is trashed, unconscious mercenaries littering the floor. Berze looms over the terrified chief. Answer me, and you live. The chief desperately agrees to anything. Berze's question is simple and chilling. Where's the slave market? Following the chief's directions, the 2 cloaked figures arrive at an opulent mansion with a huge fountain out front. Berze scans the caged humans, completely unimpressed. The chief notices his look, nervously asking if something's wrong. He's not here for low-grade stock. Berze asks for more valuable goods and flashes a bag of gold. Berze just smiles. This guy watched his subordinates get bodied without flinching. Humans and demons, equally greedy it seems. Right through here, the chief eagerly says, leading him deeper into the mansion. This was all part of the plan. In a flashback, he told a confused Gordon he was buying slaves with the human cash, specifically allied race prisoners. An elf known for their purity would be perfect. And just like that, they find exactly who he's looking for. The guide presents the prize, a defiant, muzzled elf. Perfect. The Demon King plans to use him as a spy, throwing the heroes into utter chaos. Meanwhile, back in Helderan, a grand announcement rings out. Hero Hillen Cargill has arrived. The king is relieved at least one hero answered the call. The hero kneels, swearing to rescue the princess and take the Demon King's head, all in the name of justice, naturally. Meanwhile, the slave trader asks what our guy wants. An elf slave, and this guy's paying, Berze replies, pointing to the merc. One terrifying glare later, the chief's wallet is out. Smart man. Berze kicks them out, wanting alone time with his new pet. Oh, and if the elf acts up, guess who's paying extra? He steps to the cage and with a few waves, he removes the shackles. The elf instantly clocks the magic. A demon? He snarls. What could you possibly want with an elf? Berze's offer, revenge on the humans who enslaved him. The elf scoffs. Demons are just as sketchy as humans, he spits. Berze insists he's different, offering a 50-year loyalty contract. Safety guaranteed, then freedom. Quite the package. But you know, elves serve the world tree, and demons are hell-bent on destroying it. Hard pass on trusting him. He calls it weird for a demon to even want an elf. Touché. Berze, proving his sincerity, pulls out the sacred Demon King's playbook. He swears on it, no world tree shenanigans. The elf is shook. This book is that holy to demons. Berze then demands a counter oath. 50 years of loyal service, sworn on the world tree. Impressed, the elf agrees. I am Granada of the Maple Tribe, he says. I'll commit after meeting the Demon King who sent you. Berze just smiles. Bro, I am the Demon King. Granada bursts out laughing. Ridiculous, he cries. If you're the Demon King, I'll serve for 100 years, not 50. Well, guess the joke's on him. They're now on the 5th floor of Berze's tower with Berze on the throne. He grins. 100-year contract. Your words, not mine. Granada loses it, screaming, this is all a scam. Wives ain't that a wives do. Fixed you meme. I think the farm style do for 12 years. The standing doctor then mentions that it seems he has suffered some hearing loss. She sighs and then writes on a piece of paper asking his name and whether he can speak out loud. And what kind of Demon King are you? The tower is totally empty. barren floors and zero monsters, you've got zero defense. At this rate, we won't last a year against the heroes. I can't work in this dump, he screams. Berze calmly reminds him of the contract, unleashing a crushing wave of magic. Granada finally gets it. This dude is actually the Demon King. Oops. That's probably why all the monsters of Ergesta Mountain steered clear on their way back. Talk about street cred. Realizing his revenge might actually happen, Granada kneels. He swears on the world tree to serve for 100 years. Finally, some commitment. Granada, hyped for his epic first task, is sure he's vital to some wicked grand master plan. Berze's first order? Great. Now, go make us some food. Granada's brain just broke. So now he's in a kitchen, apron on, chopping veggies, trying to convince himself this is all part of the plan. Then Princess Ernian bounces in, offering to help. Soon the gang of four is chilling at a long, candlelit dining table on the 5th floor. Granada whispers, "Is that woman from Hilden?" Berze casually confirms, "Yup, Ernian Hilden." Granada leaps up, screaming, "Are you insane? You kidnapped the crown princess with no tower defenses? How will you stop the heroes?" Berze calmly eats, "That's why I bought you." Granada just stares, utterly bewildered. None of this is making sense for him at all. Later, on the nature-filled 4th floor, the Demon King reveals the real mission. If a hero ever gets inside this tower, they've already lost. So Granada's job isn't defense, it's to plunge the human world into chaos. In short, he's Berze's new secret agent. But first, Berze needs to test his skills. "Come at me," he says. "Time for a little spar." Berze sweetens the deal. He'll use only one hand with no magic. If Granada wins, the contract drops back to 50 years. That's all Granada needs. "I'll blow your head off," he roars, powering up like a boss. The spar begins. Furious blows, high-speed action across the field. This ain't no tea party. The Demon King easily blocks, impressed by his moves. He instantly recognizes that elf style, absorbing mana for physical boosts. Smart. Granada yells, "I'm no ordinary elf. You just picked the wrong opponent and the wrong place to fight." Suddenly, glowing vines shoot up, binding Berze's leg. "Opening found," Granada roars, charging in. 50 years, here I come." Berze just smiles. "Useful, yes. But did you forget who you're fighting?" With a terrifying grin, he clarifies, "I'm not using any magic energy, don't worry. And I promise I'll control my strength so you don't actually die." Granada watches in pure horror. Boom, a massive shockwave explodes from the tower. Cut to the Red Hawk Mercenary HQ, where the chief is practically saluting Berze. Berze gets straight to it. He wants a 1-year contract. The chief is ecstatic. His men, however, are whispering nervously. Why make a deal with the dude who just beat them to a pulp? Berze tosses them a massive bag of gold. Just like that, their injuries vanish, and undying loyalty is pledged. Money talks, folks. Berze says he's brought someone to relay orders. The mercenaries naturally are wary of a stranger joining their ranks. Then, a completely battered and bruised Granada steps forward. "Hey, I'm Granada." The mercenaries are absolutely speechless. Suddenly, a wave of total sympathy. They rush in for a big, tearful group hug, welcoming their even more beat-up new comrade. Wholesome. Berze watches, satisfied. Ragtag, sure, but skilled, perfectly located, and most importantly, easy to control. He knows only one hero is crazy enough for this job, Hillen Cargill, the Lust Demon King Slayer. Bro is cooking indeed. Standing before his newly formed team, Berze announces their first mission. Investigate the hero hired by Hilden. The Demon King names their target, Hillen Cargill. The Red Hawk mercenaries, now fully assimilated, roar back with a thunderous, "Yes, sir." While his new team geared up, Berze was back at his tower, already plotting his next big power move. He'd handed off the hero problem to Granada and his newly recruited Red Hawks. Time for the Demon King himself to level up. Normally, you need magic points to upgrade the tower, but Berze, he'd sold all his, so he needs to find Spirit Herb's stat. These crystallized mana nuggets were plentiful in the monster-ridden Ergesta Mountains. Basically, a treasure hunt for the brave or foolish. Not as potent as pure magic for a Demon King, but hey, better than nothing. Berze decides it was go time, but Gordon calls it reckless. It's almost impossible to find these herbs, and the monsters would overwhelm him by sheer numbers. Berze wasn't worried about the monsters, but finding the herbs, though? Yeah, that'd be tough, unless they had a mana-sensing detector. Suddenly, a knock at the door. Princess Ernian peeks in, shyly asking if they were busy. You can almost see the light bulbs on top of their heads. Next thing you know, Ernian was gleefully skipping through the snow with Berze. She was getting bored of staying indoors. "You can't break your promise, okay?" she grins. The deal was, she gets to redecorate her floor however she wants, if she helps him find the herb. Priorities, folks. Berze internally groans. This girl already had free reign on her floor. How much more was she planning to do? Suddenly, Berze scoops her up, unfurls his massive wings, and launches them into the sky. "Hold tight, kiddo." Clinging on, she's struck with pure awe. The world stretching beneath them was so much bigger than she'd ever known. She thought back to her old life. Endless magic training, royal studies, same old grind, day in, day out. She just accepted it. She's gushing about the mountains, but Burzy cuts her off. Princes, focus on the job. Ernyan, please, she smiles. Since they're gonna be buddies for a while, might as well be on a first-name basis, right? Wrong. Want me to move you to the underground dungeon? Burzy threatens. Now go find those herbs. Ernyan sends her spirits off. Their pure mana essence meant they'd find the herbs way faster than he ever would. It doesn't take long for them to return. We found one, Ernyan yells excitedly. Of course, there was a problem. A giant pack of monsters was already chilling around their prize. Yeah, nothing says easy mission like a giant monster convention. Burzy commands them to peace out. The monsters are like, nah, we'll kill you first. Burzy laughs. Gordon was right. Reasoning was dumb. He'll just have to burn them all to cinders then. Monsters roar and charge forward. Burzy unleashes a colossal wave of dark magic. And poof, no more monster horde. But wait! Two sneaky monsters, spotting an opening, go for the weaker target, Ernyan. Burzy, however, was faster. He whips around and stops them cold. Ernyan watches in awe. These ogre-devouring monsters couldn't even get close. This, she realized, was Demon King power. When the chaos settles, the snowy landscape was littered with, well, monster bits. A picturesque scene, really. Ernyan marvels at the hyacinth, noting its insane mana purity. He offers her the next one if she finds another. Instant motivation, Burzy muses. These humans only move when there's a carrot in front of them. But after searching till exhaustion, no second herb. So, back to the tower they went. Examining the herb, Burzy is pleased. Maybe kidnapping Princess Ernyan wasn't a bad move at all. Just then, Gordon arrives with an update. A message from Granada already? That was fast. Granada reports that the hero Hillen Cargill, with 32 other heroes, left the capital for Ergeste. Standard hero playbook, forming parties, gaining strength, you know the drill. Gordon, diligent as ever, whips out a full list of countermeasures ready. All rejected, Burzy declares. Ouch. Burzy explains he won't send weak monsters, it just makes the heroes stronger. Instead, he'll have Granada destroy the party from within. Gordon is speechless. This goes against the playbook, but admits it makes sense since they can't even defend the tower now. Don't worry, Gordon. I've got plans to strengthen the tower. With dwarves. Gordon meltdown number 54 since arriving here. Humans, elves, and now those stubby creatures. The tower would be a laughingstock. Burzy hand crackles, and he gives Gordon a look that shuts him up real fast. They don't need the dwarves themselves, but they're magical tools. Imagine this. Heroes expect weak monsters on floor 1. Instead, dozens of massive cannons firing at once. The heroes would be utterly unprepared. Boom. But the playbook indoctrination was strong. Gordon shakes his head. He's still against it. Talk to the throne, Gordon, because you're all alone. My crazy demon king is planning another kidnapping, he shrieks. Meanwhile, deep underground in the dwarf city of Wolfner, Hammer's Ring, a master blacksmith is hard at work at his forge. Meet Roger Friedrich, the greatest dwarf blacksmith in area. He's deep in his element, hammering away, oblivious to the fact that he's about to be kidnapped by our favorite troublemaker, Demon King. Burzy wastes no time. He's at Wolfner, city of the dwarves. He's messed with them before, but this is his first time actually stepping foot in their turf. Straight to the Midnight Inn. He drops some gold, getting right to the point with a local dwarf. Classic Burzy efficiency. The dwarf is impressed, says Burzy knows how to talk to them for a human. Yep, that's because he knows that dwarves love cash as much as any hero. Easy game. Directions secured. A high-security elevator, deep down. But Burzy, he's not waiting for an invitation. Over the gate he goes. Efficiency, people. He's past all the security. He finds the deepest, most secure room in the whole dang city. There he is, Roger Friedrich, the master blacksmith, absolutely hammering it out at his forge. Burzy actually pauses, genuinely impressed. This guy's skill? Off the charts. Mana just dancing around his hammer. Okay, that's enough admiring. Time for our Demon King to do what he does best, a good old-fashioned kidnapping. But wait, Roger is no slouch. He senses a tiny flicker of magic. He whips around, hammer already swinging like a boss. The dwarf leaps, hammer ablaze, but Burzy just catches it, one hand, effortless. You're a hero, he realizes. You ain't leaving this city alive, demon, Roger yells. Burzy just laughs. He calls Roger weak. I'm not just any demon, buddy. I'm the Demon King. What a power flex. Dwarf guards burst in to check the commotion. Too late. The workshop? It's empty now. Poof! The city is on lockdown, alarms blaring. The terrified dwarf is convinced he's after the princess. Typical Demon King move, right? Wrong. Burzy doesn't care about princesses. He wants Roger's secret escape tunnel. This guy always thinking 3 steps ahead. Burzy pitches a devious plan. He'll let Roger go and kidnap the princess instead. The rumors of a hero selling out his princess, his reputation will get destroyed. Roger utterly loses it. He knows he's a weak here. Everyone would buy it. A lifetime of shame. Dude's spiraling. Final choice. Sell out the princess or follow Burza. To seal the deal, Burza swears on the Demon King's playbook itself to keep Roger safe. Roger knows that playbook oath is ironclad. He folds instantly. This is the way to the tunnel, boss, he offers with sparkly eyes. Meanwhile, back at the forge, the princess of the dwarf kingdom, Louise Burpf, arrives. Her blacksmith? Gone. Kidnapped. Louise explodes. How could a hero get kidnapped? She sends her guards scrambling, threatening to personally de-hair them if they screw up. Yikes. Deep in Roger's secret tunnel, Burzy is bored of the view. He hurries the terrified dwarf along. Come on, pace it up. They finally exit. Roger, thinking he's safe, tries to bail, reminding Burzy of their agreement. Big mistake, buddy. Burzy goes full Demon King. That trashy playbook oath? Yeah, I don't care about it. Absolute savage move. Cornered, betrayed, Roger goes full grovel. I'll forge anything. I'll be your spy. Just don't kill me. Burzy, seeing the utter desperation, agrees to show mercy. Roger thanks him profusely, totally relieved. Plot twist, it's all an act. Roger, the second he thinks he's safe, is already plotting revenge. Stupid Demon King won't know what hit him. Too bad for Roger, his revenge plans are deleted. He's now in Burzy's tower, a lush, spirit-filled place. Surprise! Gordon is, as usual, having a meltdown over Burz's methods. Granada interrupts his rant with a call. You've got a dwarf now, boss? It's just chaos. Princess Ernyon strolls up to the dazed dwarf. She innocently asks, are you the hero who's come to rescue me? Oh, Roger. Still in shock, he confronts Burzy about his promise. Burzy's reply, mercy just means I didn't kill you. But how did he get here? Well, Burzy knocked him out in case he tried anything. And that's it. Roger just breaks. Maniacal, unhinged cackling. Burzy, ever the diplomat, asks, really that happy to join the team? Still laughing like a madman, Roger agrees. So happy. Burzy loves the enthusiasm. First job, fill the first floor with cannons. Time to blast some heroes? Meanwhile, far from the Demon King's tower, Granada's at the hero party's base, sending a status report. He reports that rumors of a new Demon King with black flames have the heroes in a panic, scrambling for flame-resistant gear. And get this, the heroes are convinced the Demon King isn't sending monsters because he's terrified of them. Bless their hearts. Burzy, appearing as a hologram, reveals his true strategy. No monsters mean no glory, no loot, no experience for the heroes. It's a war of attrition, folks. He simply tells Granada to keep monitoring. Granada gives a quick understood and the call disconnects. Granada is absolutely stunned. This Demon King's grasp of human nature? Off the charts. As he heads back into the bustling hall, he mentally notes how lucky he is that this terrifying mastermind is on his side. Back at the tower, Burzy gives Roger his next big job, fortify the first floor with traps. But here's the kicker, no mana stones. Roger instantly panics, claiming old-school traps won't cut it. Burzy interrupts, explaining heroes sense mana-powered traps a mile away. They'd be instantly busted. Roger still hesitates. Burzy's eyes flash purple. He threatens to find a better blacksmith if Roger can't handle this. Roger, scared stiff, blurts out that there is a way. Burzy, looking totally unimpressed, tells him to elaborate. Roger excitedly reveals he made a tool that hides mana traces. Only problem, it took 3 years to build, and it's back in his old workshop. Burzy sees right through it. He asks if that's the best escape plan Roger could muster, a knowing look on his face. Burzy trusts him, then casually snaps a strange collar around the dwarf's neck. Uh-oh. With a glint in his eye, he explains it's a handy tool that separates head from body with a simple hand gesture. Warns Roger, remove it, and it's an escape attempt. The terrified dwarf swears he'll never touch it and scrambles off. Over the next month, Burzy and Roger travel across kingdoms, gathering every last supply for the tower's defenses. Burzy, cloaked and masked, buys everything they need, effortlessly stashing it all in his subspace pocket. Supplies gathered, they finally return to the dwarven city of Wolfner. Roger, trembling, opens a secret entrance. Inside, the atmosphere is electric. Louise is absolutely yelling at her guards. A guard timidly reports they've searched tunnels for a month and a half. The kidnapper, he suggests, is long gone. Of course he escaped, she shrieks. If he were still here, he'd be an idiot, not a kidnapper. She grabs the guard captain, delivering an ultimatum. Find the kidnapper in 2 weeks or everyone dies. No pressure. The panicked guards immediately scramble, ordered to seal off every tunnel the blacksmiths created. Alone, she stares at an unfinished blade. This, she laments, was supposed to be her weapon. She clenches her gauntlet, seething. Roger, please stay alive. You can't die until you finish my weapon. Suddenly, she senses a presence behind her. She spins around, eyes wide with shock. It's Roger, rocking a high-tech mask to hide his face. But this princess? She's sharp. She deduces that only the blacksmith would know this secret tunnel. Then, she calls him out by name. Roger freezes, stammering. The princess cracks her knuckles with a sadistic grin, thrilled he's walking around just fine. She accuses him of hiding just to ditch making her weapon. Is that it, Roger? She skipped the small talk and went straight for the allegations. She declares him her slave for life. His sole purpose? Making weapons for her. First, he needs punishment for running away. Roger can only beg for his life. Before she can strike, a blast of dark purple energy slams into the ground, blocking her path. Who's there? She demands as a figure lands between her and the dwarf. Berza calmly tells Roger to grab his gear. The dwarf doesn't hesitate, scrambling to obey. Furious, the princess demands to know why he's helping this despicable dwarf. Berza coolly responds, I'm the master of this poor blacksmith you've been oppressing. Burn. She calls his claim nonsense, screaming that Roger is her slave. She lunges, fists blazing. A flurry of blows erupts as she unleashes a rapid-fire assault. Berze effortlessly blocks it all with his dark magic. With calm face, Berze counters with a swift kick. She grabs a hold of his leg, aiming to throw another punch. Berze looks genuinely surprised. You are strong, he thinks. She capitalizes on his surprise, landing a powerful punch that sends him sliding back, then refocuses on the fleeing Roger. But Berze is instantly back, grabbing the princess by her hair. He easily parries her follow-up attacks, a look of recognition dawning on his face. He knows her from his past life, Louise Berpth, second princess of the Dwarf Kingdom, a non-hero with overwhelming strength. Before his regression, she was one of the strongest people alive, way stronger than she is right now. He considers ending her now, before she reaches her full potential. But that would need his true power, and he's not quite there yet. Using that much energy would expose him as the Demon King to the swarming guards. This is tricky, he thinks. Meanwhile, Roger is frantically tearing apart the massive mana phantom device with a flurry of wrenches. Berze asks the blacksmith, Did you get it? Roger nervously replies, he's still working. The device is an extra-large mana phantom, a tool Roger built to conceal mana traces. Berze's patience snaps. Surrounded by dark aura, he gives Roger a deadline. Want to die? Solve it in 1 minute. As Louise powers up for another devastating attack, Berze warns Roger, If it comes to it, I'll leave you behind too. Yes, I'm almost done. Roger cries as he works. Berze steels himself. Without his full power, he's unsure how long he can last. But he has to try. He meets Louise's charge head-on, their energies clashing in a massive explosion. She snarls, You're not leaving. I'll make sure Roger never runs again by crushing both your legs. Berze just grins. Honestly, you sound more like a demon king. Give it up, princess. I'm taking your blacksmith and his gear. Right on cue, the mana phantom finishes disassembling with a hiss of steam. Roger yells, disassembly complete, as Louise's attack connects with Berze's. She roars in fury. Roger, you absolute jerk. You came back for that? Did I look that easy to you? Her emotional outburst gives Berze the exact opening he needs. He spins, landing a powerful kick right in her guts, sending her flying. She crashes into the ground, creating a small crater. Ignoring her, Berze opens his subspace. Roger, get out of the way, he yells. As Louise staggers from the attack, she looks up, and the two men are already gone, just like that. Her guards finally show up. She immediately shrieks, You slow fools! Were you planning to show up after I died? She screams at them to chase Berze and Roger through the tunnel. But it's too late. The tunnel is completely blocked. She mutters in disbelief. Roger must have really hated making her weapon. Her shock twists into a sinister grin. Interesting. Very interesting, Roger. Her face darkens with pure rage. She vows to find him, even if she has to scour the entire continent. She promises to make him regret everything as she screams his name. Bro just got promoted as the princess's public enemy #1. Meanwhile, back at the tower, Roger finishes installing his massive mana phantom device. Even Ernyan and Gordon are wide-eyed at its sheer size. But Berze just casually drops that it's their ticket to stopping the heroes. Roger confirms installation complete. Berze, without missing a beat, orders him to fire that bad boy up. Berze stares him down, reminding him this better be worth his time. A terrified Roger nervously hits the activation switch. The mana phantom whirs to life, its core swirling with brilliant blue energy. A blinding light erupts, filling the entire first floor and stunning everyone nearby. Suddenly, a system message pops up. The tower has detected the mana phantom. Synchronization will cost 10,000 points. Berze is totally blindsided. He wonders when the tower ever had this feature. Only one way to find out, right? He confirms the synchronization, consuming a massive chunk of his points. The device's power source shifts from mana to magic energy, fully recognizing Berze as its master. Roger completely freaks out, yelling he never imagined it would fuse with the tower. This, apparently, is the discovery of the century. Time for a test run. Berze tells Ernyan to unleash any spell she wants. Given free reign, Ernyan unleashes an insane vortex of fire, water, and wind spirits. Gordon, naturally, has an instant meltdown, screaming about his neatly organized tower being destroyed. From the entrance, Berze watches the chaos. He figures an attack this powerful should be easily detectable outside. He steps out into the snow, but when he turns around, he can't see inside the tower or sense any energy at all. Wild. Channels his magic, testing the full power of the synchronized tower. And to his absolute shock, the entire tower completely disappears. With a flick of his hand, he brings it back. He can now hide it whenever he wants. Talk about a magic trick. Only catch? This ability devours an absurd amount of magic points. Too costly for now, but Berze grins, knowing this power will definitely be useful later. Back inside, Roger is practically begging to study this historic discovery. He'd take the whole tower apart if he could. Berze agrees, but first, Roger needs to fill the first floor with traps. Fired up, Roger swears he'll wipe out every last hero. Dwarf practically flies away, cheering like a kid on Christmas as he gets to work. Berze then turns to Ernyan with his next brilliant idea: deal with the heroes who reach the 4th floor. He's taken aback, reminding him she's a princess, not some bodyguard. Berze counters that she's also a genius spirit mage who definitely doesn't want to go home. He then perfectly executes the reverse psychology play, musing that asking a sheltered princess to betray her own people might be too much. And guess what? It works perfectly. Ernyan immediately starts pondering which element to fight with, casually agreeing to betray them. Bro is too good at this. He clarifies she just needs to throw the heroes off and make it clear she's an enemy. Success means she gets a wish. Ernyan agrees, but with one condition. When she's introduced, it won't be as a princess. She wants to be his subordinate. Surprised but seeing no issue, Berze agrees to her terms. Easy. Ernyan gets a little too excited, wondering if she should use her charms to fight. Berze immediately shuts that down with a swift nope. With his key players now in position, Berze sits on his throne, finalizing his master strategy. The plan: Roger's cannons on the 1st floor to thin the heroes' numbers, then Princess Ernyan as bait on the 4th floor to finish them off. He knows it's not enough. At this rate, they won't even take out half of the 200-strong hero force. Ultimately, he needs to get stronger himself. He eyes the spirit herb he acquired, knowing he'll have to find more. So, time for another field trip. He calls Ernyan, and she happily agrees to go out. Out in the snowy plains, Ernyan's spirits search for more herbs, but they come up empty-handed. Berze gets annoyed, calling her spirits useless. Ernyan finds the whole situation strange, especially since they were so lucky last time. Suddenly, a massive fur-covered figure steps right into view. It's a large blue-skinned orc with white braided hair, staring them down like a hungry landlord. Berze sighs, clearly annoyed. Feral orcs again. I'm getting tired of that race. Plot twist. Instead of attacking, the orc chieftain kneels. I greet the Demon King, he declares, practically begging Berze to accept his tribe as vassals. Talk about a warm welcome. The rest of his tribe appears, all kneeling and pleading to serve him. This is a whole thing, folks. Berze is completely baffled by this bizarre request. The chieftain explains their ancestors were demons who betrayed the demon realm. Now, they wish to atone by serving him. Berze cuts right through the fluff. He knows they just want to become his vassals to grow stronger. Magic energy suits them better than spirit herbs after all. Caught red-handed, the chieftain admits there's no point hiding it. He offers up what he was keeping secret. He opens a chest to reveal 3 glowing spirit herbs. So that's why Ernyan's spirits found nothing. Berze is genuinely impressed, noting the orc is quite smart for his kind. Chieftain explains his tribe values wisdom over strength. That's why they seek Berze's power. Berze thinks about it. Wisdom over strength, huh? I like it. I'll take you as a vassal. But only you, Krutu. He presses a glowing red crest onto Krutu's chest. The deal is sealed. He orders him to roam the fields, grow his tribe, and wait for orders. He promises Krutu's tribe will endure forever. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Krutu swears his eternal loyalty. Another one joins the team. With his new vassal secured, Berze and Ernyan watch as the orc tribe departs. With this, Berze's forces are officially assembled. Outside the tower, he now has the feral orc legion. On the 1st floor, Roger stands ready with his mana cannons, probably still humming with excitement. And on the 4th floor, a cloaked Ernyan waits with her spirits, ready to show off her skills. Watching over them all from his throne, Berze confirms every piece is perfectly in place. Come, heroes, he declares, and let me repay the humiliation of my past life. Meanwhile, deep in the snowy forests, the heroes have finally arrived. Hillen Gil, with Granada right behind him, announces their arrival at the Regress Mountains. Let the games begin. The large party of heroes stands at the edge of the forest, gazing out at the vast, snowy mountain range. The Demon King awaits them. It's go time, y'all. The heroes set up their preparation base in Horton Work, where a massive pre-battle banquet kicks off. The local lord, probably high on the free food, thanks Sir Hillen for gracing them with his presence. It's an honor, apparently, to be part of this historic moment. Naturally, the Lord then insists Hillen give a rousing speech. Gotta pump up the troops before they face certain doom, right? Without warning, he bellows to the entire hall, getting everyone's attention. Sir Hillen is about to drop some wisdom. Every single eye in the room snaps to Hillen. Hillen clears his throat, ready to play the part. He addresses the whole motley crew, heroes, nobles, mages, mercenaries, declaring this long expedition is finally, thankfully, at its end. Apparently, the Demon King must be absolutely terrified. Dude couldn't even send a single monster. Hillen raises his glass, rallying the crowd. Tomorrow, we behead this foolish Demon King who dared kidnap Princess Ernian. He shouts, reminding everyone to show the world who the real bosses are. The entire hall erupts in a deafening roar. For justice! From the back, Granada, our favorite double agent, observes the whole scene. Just as the Demon King predicted, the hero party is holding steady. Not growing, but not shrinking either. Sir Hillen's reputation alone is enough to keep everyone on board and all those wavering mercs in line. Classic hero move. Granada thinks back to that completely empty tower. At this rate, he wonders, won't it just fall over? Should he become a traitor? He immediately shakes that thought. If they succeed, he's free from Burza's contract anyway. That's a much better outcome, for him at least. Getting a grip, he decides to step out for some air and send a quick report to the Demon King. Using some fancy comm device, he reports to Burza that they've arrived at Horton Work and are climbing that mountain tomorrow. Burza tells him no more contact once they leave the city. Then, some strange warnings. Watch out for the snow, and don't let his guard down at night. His final and frankly weirdest warning, when you open the tower door, stay far, far away. Granada is understandably baffled. Suddenly Hillen pops up, asking why he's out here all alone. Startled, Granada stammers that he was just getting some fresh air. Hillen offers him a drink, some fruit wine elves apparently love. Granada hesitantly accepts. Awkward much? Noticing Granada's worried face, Hillen asks if he's nervous. Granada admits he's unsure if they can actually defeat the Demon King. Hillen's charming smile fades. He looks into his wine, then confesses, to be honest, I'm not sure either. Explains that despite people trusting him, taking on a Demon King's tower is always pure hell. It never goes smoothly. Granada tries to sound confident, reminding Hillen he defeated the Lust Demon King. A new one should be no big deal, right? He slyly adds that not much is known about that legendary battle. He asks Hillen to spill the heroic tea. Hillen goes dead silent, his expression completely unreadable. Uh-oh. He finally forces a smile, deflecting the question. He says it was only possible thanks to brave companions, like Granada. He places a hand on Granada's shoulder, promising the front lines are his. He just needs Granada to guard his side. Combine our strength, he says, and we'll totally win. Caught up in the hero's classic charisma, Granada agrees. Gotta admit, the man's got game. Hillen then leads him back inside. The Lord apparently wants to hear all about his adventures. But as they walk away, Hillen's charming smile completely vanishes. It's replaced by a cold, calculating expression. He brings a small, glowing ring to his lips, thinking, of course, I joined forces with brave companions. I'm counting on you again, Granada. The next morning, it's crunch time. The hero party prepares to depart. The citizens cheer wildly for their heroes, shouting as they march out of the city. Talk about a hype squad. The massive party then makes its way through a vast, snowy canyon deep in the Urgesta Mountains. Some soldiers idly chat, surprised the weather is so clear and there isn't much snow. They figure the goddess of victory is totally on their side. Foreshadowing much? Others joke about the total lack of catastrophic monsters, guessing they're all hibernating or just utterly terrified by Sir Hillen's legendary presence. Suddenly, a nasty drop of purple goo lands right on one rogue's head. He touches it, totally confused about what this gross stuff is. Then, a scream rips through the air. The canyon cliffs are absolutely crawling with monstrous ghouls. Surprise! Hillen immediately draws his sword, barking orders. All forces, battle stations. He commands them not to panic, but to push through the canyon with knights covering the mages. My man is running on pure commander aura right now. But just as they start moving, a soldier yells a terrifying warning. A frost giant has appeared at the front. Hillen is stunned. He immediately shouts for everyone to fall back. Colossal skeletal monster, all ice and bone, looms over them, blocking their entire path forward. Game over, man. Hillen makes a snap decision. He'll hold off the giant alone, while everyone else escapes the canyon. Talk about a hero complex. The burst of blue energy, he charges forward like a madman. He leaps into the air, meeting the colossal frost giant head-on. Absolute Chad energy. The giant's menacing red eyes glow, preparing to attack. Hillen, brimming with confidence, thinks this creature can't possibly be stronger than the Lust Demon King he's already slain. Famous last words, maybe? He nimbly dodges the giant's massive swipe, his body practically glowing with raw power. Perched atop the giant, he steadies himself, sparks moving wildly around him. Energy spirals out of control as the giant tears through the boulder at its side. Hillen continues, zipping around the beast and aiming for precise strikes. He finds his opening, his eyes gleaming with pure intensity. This is it. Unleashing a ridiculously powerful skill, he shouts for everyone to run while they still have the chance. As the party flees for their lives, a massive explosion rocks the canyon behind them. Hillen's attack tears right through the frost giant's massive skull. The colossal monster then explodes in a shower of ice and dark, menacing energy. Further down the path, the surviving heroes finally catch their breath, utterly exhausted from that insane battle. They can't believe the sheer danger they just faced. Not even other Demon King towers were this bad, they exclaim. One hero mentions the rumor that Hillen killed the Lust Demon King and absorbed his power. He might rival a Demon King himself, apparently. Bro is cooking. With their faith in Sir Hillen totally reaffirmed, they feel there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Oh, you sweet summer children. Even Granada starts to believe it. With Hillen leading them, maybe they actually can defeat that Demon King after all. But as they continue their march, of course, their path is blocked by a formidable line of feral orcs. Never easy, is it? Hillen senses their dark magic energy, immediately identifying them as the Demon King's personal subordinates. The chieftain Krutu stares them down. You foolish heroes, welcome to Urgesta. As Hillen prepares to attack, Granada suddenly stops him. He hears a strange, unsettling rumbling sound. He suddenly remembers Burze's cryptic first warning, watch out for the snow. The terrifying meaning finally clicks into place, and Granada's face drains of all color. Oh no. Krutu grins a nasty grin, relaying his master's message. Not one of you will reach the tower. Rumbling grows louder, and then the entire mountain begins to shake violently. An impossibly huge avalanche crashes down, aiming to bury the entire hero party. How are they even supposed to watch out for the snow when it's this? As a literal wall of snow crashes down, Granada can only curse that crazy Demon King idiot for orchestrating this massive avalanche. Well played, Berze. Well played. In blind panic, he screams at the top of his lungs. Everyone run, but it's far too late for our heroes. Miles away, safe in his luxurious throne room, Berze just watches the chaos unfold on his magic monitors. Popcorn, anyone? A sinister grin spreads across his face. Heroes, he says, welcome once again. Now the tables have truly turned. He declares, this time, I will be the one hunting you. Berze, ever the planner, had already laid out his playbook for this little hunt. His first warning to his spy, Granada, watch out for the snow. And just as planned, the feral orc-triggered avalanche shattered the hero party, scattering them across the mountains. What else to do but make camp and desperately search for their missing comrades? Berze's second subtle hint, don't let your guard down at night. Through the night raid, frost giants, ghouls, and more feral orcs crashed the party, turning the camp into a desperate battleground. Poor Granada, caught in the chaos, couldn't help but curse his master's relentless, effective tactics. Berze, of course, watched from his comfy throne, a satisfied smile on his face. This pattern, daytime avalanches, nighttime raids, rinse and repeat, 3 grueling days into their trek through the Urgest Mountains, the hero party was decimated, from over 500 strong to a mere 256. And after all that, they finally reached the tower's supposed location, to find absolutely nothing. Hillen completely lost his mind. Common sense says towers should be easy to find, he shrieked. Why isn't it here? Unsurprisingly, the relentless pressure and zero progress shattered morale. The party started to split. Even his own knight apologized, admitting the expedition was a bust and their lives came first. Ouch. With barely any forces left, Hillen could only grind his teeth in pure, unadulterated frustration. A day later, the remaining 52 heroes finally caught a glimpse of their prize, the Demon King's tower, cleverly tucked away in a mountain basin. Overconfident, they charged the entrance, shouting about how easy the first floor always was. You just know this is going to end well. This, folks, brings us to Berze's third and final warning. When opening the door, absolutely do not be anywhere near it. Instead of weaklings, they were met with a solid wall of glowing, charged dwarven cannons, all aimed right at them. Hillen could only stare in stunned disbelief before the cannons unleashed pure, unadulterated hell. In a blink, the remaining 52 heroes dropped to 1. Watching the carnage remotely, Berze mused. As expected, this much doesn't faze him. Smoke cleared, revealing the sole survivor, Hillen Cargill, kneeling amidst the smoldering wreckage. Unscathed, somehow, Bro is surviving out of pure plot armor. He snapped, screaming in fury at the Demon King. What even is this? There's nothing proper about this place. He rushed over to Granada, who by some miracle had also survived. Hillen asked if he was okay, and Granada confirmed he dodged it. Hillen, ever the optimist, urged them to the next floor. Granada, utterly shocked, could only ask, just the 2 of us? Hillen, brimming with false confidence, boasted that he killed the Lust Demon King and absorbed his power. This new guy? No match for him, obviously. He even added that with Lady Granada by his side, they were more than enough. A hesitant Granada, seeing no other choice, agreed. They proceeded through the tower, only to find the 2nd and 3rd floors completely, eerily empty. Hillen found it all incredibly strange, warning Granada to be ready for anything. because, well, things were about to get weird. Their climb led them to the fourth floor, which wasn't some dark corridor. Instead, it was a beautiful sunlit forest. What? Whose Pinterest board is this? Hillen was utterly baffled. Nothing on the second and third floors, but a forest on the fourth, he wondered. Are we really in a Demon King's tower? Suddenly, a female voice welcomed them, startling our confused hero. A figure appeared, flanked by elemental spirits, declaring, I'm one of the 4 heavenly kings protecting the Demon King. I, the dark spirit mage, will be your opponent, she announced dramatically. Hillen and Granada were left absolutely speechless by this bizarre, out-of-place confrontation. Despite the costume, Hillen instantly recognized her. Princess Ernion? He exclaimed in utter disbelief. Flustered, she screamed, I'm not a princess. I'm the dark spirit mage, and promptly unleashed a massive elemental attack. Hillen realized this was the highest level of spirit magic, something only Lady Ernion could use, and definitely not if she was mind-controlled. His mind raced, connecting all the ridiculous dots. The feral orcs, the avalanches, the night raids, the hidden tower with cannons and empty floors, and now, a crazy princess. The sheer absurdity of it all made him snap. Laughing maniacally, he declared, I don't understand any of this. Who cares? I'll destroy everything. Just as he was about to attack, a mocking voice echoed from above, followed by a massive sphere of dark magic descending upon them. Burza Deus, the Demon King, finally made his grand entrance, saying, Finally showing your face, Hillen Cargill. Hillen called him a coward, then muttered to himself, I'll need more power. Lady Granada is over there. With blue power swirling around Hillen, Burze, and Granada braced for the impending clash. Hillen grabbed Granada, holding up a glowing ring, and chillingly declared, Lady Granada, let's combine our strength. Granada's eyes widened in horror as he felt his very life force being viciously drained from his body. Hillen stood triumphantly over the now collapsed elf, enveloped in a swirling green aura of stolen energy. Burze calmly identified the artifact, a forbidden item called the Elf Eater, which converts an elf's infinite vitality into pure mana. Hillen mockingly told the dying Granada that it was all for the greater good. Classic hero hypocrisy, am I right? His last breaths, Granada could only curse the hero as the fraud and hypocrite he truly was. Burza, finding Hillen's vileness amusing, grinned, So if I just remove that ring, you'll become weak again? Hillen scoffed, daring him to try. Even the Lust Demon King couldn't take this ring. Burze didn't move. He simply uttered one name, Gordon. Hillen was still laughing when he felt nothing. His hand was just gone. He screamed in agony, staring at the bloody stump where his hand used to be. How did that happen without a single warning? Gordon Derrick appeared behind him, his blade stained crimson and Hillen's bloody hand still fresh from the strike. Human, you're rather rude and far too loud, he said coolly. Suddenly, Hillen puts a massive distance between them. Ignoring the blood streaming from his stump, Hillen readies his blade, his face twisted with sheer resolve. He couldn't believe it. How could he, with his powerful artifact, be defeated by a mere high-ranking demon? Before he could even recover, a heavy hand clamped down hard on his shoulder. It was Burze appearing from the shadows with a terrifying grin. Where do you think you're running? Hillen's mind went blank with pure fear. His only thought was to dodge, to get away from this absolute monster. But it was too late. Burze unleashed his true, overwhelming demonic aura, a terrifying purple dragon of energy that completely dwarfed the hero. The sheer pressure was suffocating. Hillen realized with dawning horror, I can't dodge this. As the energy converged, his mind reeled. Just what is this Demon King? Burze grinned, deciding to toy with him. I'll just take one hit, Hillen Cargill. With that, a devastating slash of pure demonic energy envelopes the whole tower. Game over. The dust settles and Burze is standing over Hillen Cargill's smoldering body. The Demon King is clearly surprised the hero is somehow still clinging to life. Burze, ever the diplomat, calmly orders his subordinates to reattach Hillen's hand and toss him and any other survivors into the dungeon. Granada, looking like he just ran a marathon uphill, remarks, He's strong, I can see it. Burza, surprisingly, decides to reward his spy for the hard work, offering him a glowing red spirit herb. And just like that, Granada's vitality returns, youth and strength completely restored, just like new. He is in total disbelief. Did the Demon King really just use such a precious spirit herb on him? Not wanting to leave anyone out, Burze also praises Roger the dwarf, giving him permission to examine the tower. Roger naturally goes wild with joy. Post-battle cleanup handled, Burze dismisses everyone to their assigned floors. As Burze walks away, Granada remarks how perfectly fine he seems even after such an intense battle. A Demon King is a Demon King after all. But Ernion, ever perceptive, notices something is off. She looks seriously concerned. She was right. The moment he is out of sight, Burze's hand drops and he begins to stumble. Total facade. He collapses onto the floor, barely catching himself. That was close, he thinks. A Demon King cannot show weakness. He admits Hillen Cargill was no pushover. expected for a 10-star hero. The 10 stars are the continent's strongest heroes, and Hillen, even as the weakest, is still in a league of his own. Berza reflects he barely used magic, mostly because he had none to spare. If Hillen was at full power, he never would have won. His victory came from a careful strategy. Exhaust the hero party, agitate Hillen's mind, and fluster him until he messed up. Thanks to that, Hillen's vision narrowed, he showed an opening, and Berza's full power strike landed perfectly. For the first time, he achieved a complete victory without that trashy playbook. Something that never happened in his past life. He was able to change fate. He realizes he can do it. He can change the future and finally get his revenge on those heroes. Meanwhile, the other Demon Kings get news of the failed hero expedition. Droxin, the Beast Demon King, is absolutely furious. What kind of nonsense is that? He rants, pointing out he even spread a rumor about the Demon King's magic to help them. One of his underlings reports that Hero Watan Kolo announced no tower existed on the mountain at all. Droxin is speechless. This crazy troublemaker, Berza, really did just completely ignore the playbook. At a press conference in Horton Work, Hero Wotan Kolo confirms it. This new Demon King is completely different from all the previous ones. The press erupts into chaos. A Demon King acting differently? Was the expedition a failure? Investors are demanding to know who is responsible. Watan nervously tries to calm them, insisting it is not a failure yet. He claims Sir Hillen and the others are still searching for the tower. The story spreads like wildfire. The King of Hilderin threatens death if his daughter is not rescued, while Princess Louise just wants her blacksmith back. As the news gets distorted, rumors begin to circulate that Sir Hillen Cargill is already dead. Ouch. With the world falling into sorrow and fear, Berza's magic points accumulate at an insane rate, rocketing up to 290,000. Back at Hero headquarters, a high-ranking official confirms Hero Watan Kolo's statement contained no lies. Watan swears on his name that he spoke only the truth. Gotta respect the hustle. The shadowy leader declares this a grave matter. However, since Hillen is a 10-star hero, they cannot afford to underestimate him. The plan is set. If there is no news after 10 days, all 4,728 heroes on the continent will launch a total assault and kill the Demon King. Deep in Berza's tower, he visits the underground prison. Awake, he asks, impressed by Hillen's exceptional recovery. Bro is built different. Hillen glares up. Since you kept me alive, you must want something. Get to the point. Berza smiles. Good, we speak the same language, Hillen Cargill. Become my vassal. Hillen is completely stunned. He cannot believe what he has just heard. Berza then lectures him on the high cost of hero expeditions. Food, lodging, weapons, all funded by nobles. If you defeat the Demon King, your life is set. But if you fail, the hero who received the investment is buried in debt. With a wicked smile, Berza points out that for this particular expedition, all the investment was concentrated on just one person. The hero party's leader, Hillen Cargill. Only him. Bro is in deep. Hillen realizes his fate is sealed. Even if he escapes, he will be a failed hero, spending his life hiding from debt collectors. How did you know that? I informed him, Granada says, stepping into view. Hillen explodes in rage, screaming, Lady Granada betrayed us. Granada yells back, calling Hillen a fraud and declaring, I was on this side from the start. Berza explains that while the heroes failed this time, they will eventually adapt to his new methods. But here is the thing. What if their strongest hero was secretly sabotaging them? Could the humans still succeed? He holds up a swirling purple orb. He explains it is a tool for monitoring subordinates. Once inside, it attaches to the brain, letting him know of any hostility and allowing him to make it explode with a single gesture. Berza gives him the choice. If the orb does not adapt, he will consider it a rejection and kill him. There are plenty of other useful heroes. Anyway, Hillen panics, yelling that a hero as strong as him has immunity to mind control magic and the orb will just disappear. Granada chimes in, confirming that powerful heroes often disable their mental defenses. Hillen can only curse the elf for his betrayal. Double whammy. Hillen vows to never submit, but Berza is done talking. Shut up and swallow it, he yells, forcing the orb into the hero's mouth. The orb takes effect. Granada expresses concern Hillen might just endure it with the resolve to die, but Berza is not worried. He knows a greedy human who uses his comrades like consumables for money would never sacrifice himself. That's cold, Berza. And just like that, it is done. Hillen Cargill is now officially the Demon King's vassal. Later, Gordon points out a problem. Even with Hillen as a vassal, his massive 100,000 gold debt severely limits his activities. Considering the gold they have earned so far is a measly 2,000, Gordon asks how he plans to gather an amount equivalent to a small nation's annual budget. Berza just smiles slyly. It is about time for the contact. Berza's next big idea? The Tower's Harmony, a regular meeting of Demon Kings. Sounds like a book club, but with more impending doom. He never went in his past life, but now he has realized something. Those old-timers must be absolutely loaded. Gordon, of course, immediately starts freaking out, assuming his lord is just going to sell off more magic points. Classic Gordon. But as the official invitation pops up, Gordon has a moment of clarity. After seeing the heroes get completely wrecked, he finally admits the old playbook would have been a death sentence. Our boy is learning. With a wicked smile, Burzy stands up. Let us go, he declares. We are going to extort some money from our seniors. Gordon's reaction? Total, unwavering trust. Yes, he is finally on board. Burza makes his grand entrance into the Demon King meeting hall, fashionably late of course. He notes everyone gathered early, a slight smile playing on his lips. Was there much to discuss without me? Draxon the Beast Demon King immediately growls his name, clearly still holding a grudge. No surprise there. Across the room, Reyna Sordane, the Frost Demon, coolly sizes him up. She's heard the rumors, apparently. Then Ugar Belbeck, the Diamond Demon King, sneers. The notorious brat who insulted the playbook has finally arrived, he says. Oh boy. The host, Jason Cockmundo, the Demon King of Lies, flashes a huge welcoming grin. Too welcoming, if you ask me. Although an Irene indefinitely made sense, he can't help but troll them. Harmony meeting? Aren't you ashamed as Demon Kings? Ugar loses it, roaring. What does a rookie know about Irene? Ugar threatens to kill him. Burzy just grins back. Try it, if you can. Our boy is fearless. Just as things are about to pop off, Jason claps his hands and everyone freezes. With a calm smile, he reminds them, Lord Ugar, Lord Burza, this is a meeting for harmony. Please don't ruin the gathering. Burza is taken aback. Jason just blew away the killing intent of 2 Demon Kings. It wasn't magic. What was it? Ugar grunts and sits down. Burza cautiously backs off, realizing Jason's power is dangerous and guessing isn't going to help. Jason announces the start of the tower's harmony, encouraging everyone to speak freely. Draxon immediately puts Burzy on the spot. Here we go. Leaning in with glowing red eyes, he asks the million-dollar question, where is Hillen Cargill now? Burzy pauses, choosing his words carefully. Time to spin the yarn. Meanwhile, in the lieutenant's reception room, Gordon is being grilled by the other Demon King's seconds in command about the same thing. Playing his part, Gordon stammers, claiming Hillen never made it to the tower. Probably lost in the mountains, he says. The others are stunned. How could Hillen not find the tower? It's obvious, Gordon replies. Not our tower. Just as his lord instructed, he's sticking to the story like glue. He recalls Burzy's orders. Play dumb. Hillen is a spy, so secrecy is top priority. Gordon reflects. His master wasn't wrong. He knows it for a fact. And yet, he absolutely loses it, screaming internally. His Demon King is a rebellious, hard-headed idiot who never listens. A mood. But after his mental tirade, he feels an overwhelming sense of relief. Catharsis is real. His outburst prompts the other lieutenants to start complaining about their own Demon Kings. Misery loves company, apparently. Gordon realizes he just needed someone to listen. Back at the meeting, Draxon isn't buying Burzy's story. You expect me to believe that? He presses. He rages that Hillen never arrived and Burzy built his tower in the wrong spot. Are you making fun of us? He yells. I'll build my tower wherever I want, Burzy replies. Jason leans in, a too wide smile on his face. He points out the heroes are still targeting Burzy's tower, yet Burzy left the tower and came here. He condescendingly reminds the greatest top graduate in history about the miserable end awaiting a Demon King who loses his tower. Yikes. Burza remains completely unfazed. No need to worry. I'll protect my tower myself. But that calm attitude bothers him. Something about the Demon King of Lies is setting off major alarm bells. Jason just laughs and backs down, saying he won't bring it up again. For now. Draxon tries to bring up the Grand Duke Alkane. Burza casually shuts him down. What does it matter what the old man says anyway? Burza knows it's all a bluff, but there's no way they can verify it for now. Better to leave them with doubts than expose weakness. He reminds himself of his real goal, 100,000 gold. Top priority, folks. Never forget the bag. So, instead of hogging the spotlight, Burza hangs back, observing. He's looking for Demon Kings desperate for magic points. Prime targets. Then, Reyna Sordane subtly gets his attention. Oh? Burza looks up, a little confused. What does she want? They meet on a balcony high above the water, on the 13th floor of the Tower of Lies. Super romantic, I guess. Reyna says it's nothing secret. She just wanted to speak with him alone after hearing the rumors. She then drops a bombshell. I do partially agree with your opinion. Wait, what? Burzy is stunned. He can't remember Reyna ever saying this in his previous life. This is new. She clarifies she doesn't despise the playbook. She actually believes in it. However, flexibility is key, especially in Aaron. She wanted to meet him because he's better than the other idiots. Big compliment. She sizes him up. First impression? Not bad, she says. Even his looks are better than expected. Burzy is totally speechless. What a simp. She offers him a glowing communication crystal. Contact her for advice anytime, she says. Just don't insult the playbook. Burzy asks why she doesn't just talk with the Demon King of Lies. Good question. She pauses, eyes closed. You can't see through him. Burzy is better than the other 2 idiots, but still an unknown quantity. As she departs, Burzy looks at the glowing crystal in his hand. What a weird encounter. He still can't fully trust her, but making a connection with Reyna Sordain is an unexpected solid gain. Strategic dating unlocked. Meanwhile, back at Berze's tower, things are a lot more domestic. Princess Ernyan offers cookies to a stunned Roger. Cookies in a Demon King's tower? Wild. She explains her lord bought the ingredients. She baked them with the help of her spirits. Roger's like, man, it's convenient to be a genius spirit mage. He gratefully accepts one. He'll just pretend and say they're good, even if they taste like ash. Takes a huge bite, and holy moly, what is that taste? The flavor is explosive. He's never eaten cookies like this. It's a taste from the heavens, or maybe hell. Utterly captivated, he asks the princess what she made. She giggles, pleased. I mixed a little spirit herb into the dough. I'm glad they suit your taste. Roger is shocked. She used something so precious on him. No wonder his mana felt like it was overflowing. Princess was cooking. Ernyan just says it's a gift to help them get along since they'll be stuck here for a long time. She wonders if Granada will like them. Roger insists he'll go even crazier for them than he did. Then, with a hopeful, blushing smile, she asks, do you think my lord will like them too? Wait, what? Back at the meeting hall, it's completely empty. Have they all left already? Berze asks. Yep, they already left, Jason confirms. Well, that was short. Suddenly, he leans over the table with a smile. If you'd like more time with me, we can have tea, he offers. Creepy. He gets right to the point. He knows exactly what Berze needs. Human money. Berze is completely stunned. Where'd that creep get that info from? What do you mean by that? Berze flares up. No use pretending, buddy. Lord Draxon already told me, he says with a knowing gaze. Then, chillingly calm, Jason leans back. Let's skip the mind games. How about a deal? His offer? Simple. Magic points for human money. A classic cheat code, really. Berze, ever the suspicious one, takes a beat. What's your angle here, he asks, because obviously, there's always an angle. Jason breaks into a manic grin. My angle? I'm on your side, Lord Berze. Let's be friends. That's not ominous at all. Fast forward to Berze's tower. The deal? It went through. The first floor is literally drowning in gold sacks. Cash money? Berze, cool as a cucumber, tells a shell-shocked Hillen to take 100,000 gold. Don't get traced, he warns. Our Demon King knows this is risky business. Jason could easily track the money and expose everything. Worst case, he'd be Jason's puppet, completely owned. Yikes. Since Jason's true motives are a mystery, Berze decides to proceed with extreme caution. Berze then turns to Hillen, revealing the other captured heroes, now glowing with dark energy. I made them dark knights and dark mages, he says. He points to Ammon, a merchant, telling a horrified Hillen to use these new minions to launder all that cash. A man, the former hero leader, is among them, his face a picture of pure despair. His former comrades silently beg for rescue. Hillen, ever the opportunist, sees a silver lining. His men are alive, his debts can be paid, and he can resume hero duties. With a greedy glint in his eye, he says, this works for me too. Let's be business partners. Bro really thinks he's on equal footing. His former comrades? Absolutely horrified at this shameless betrayal. The audacity. Berze's face goes dark. Huh? Business partners? He whips out that creepy mind control orb. An agonizing jolt of pain rips through Hillen's mind. Ouch! Berze pins the screaming hero to the floor. Speak properly, he snarls. Not business partners, but slave and master. The other Dark Knights can't help but grin. Serves you right, they mutter. Justice for the betrayed. Lesson learned. Berze dismisses him. I don't expect loyalty. Now get out. As Hillen struggles to his feet, Princess Ernyan appears, calling his name. She holds out a purple letter. Deliver this to my younger sister, Elena, she asks. Hillen is shocked. The 13th princess? He nervously asks why she's with the Demon King. Ernyan calmly says she's not going home, then hints that, as a hero, he should know her family's dark secret. Intrigue? Hilderin royal family's secret. It clicks for Hillen. He finally gets her situation. He reluctantly agrees. What a good slave. I mean partner. Back in the throne room, Gordon wonders if Hillen will actually obey. Fair question. But Berze explains Hillen isn't just about money. He's not some greedy commoner. In fact, during his torture session, he seemed more tormented than purely greedy. But Hillen Cargill really craves. Not honor. It's popularity. He wants to be loved. The adoration of the masses is literally everything to this dude. Berze grins, twirling that pulsing orb. Control him with this? He'll be the ultimate spy. Gordon is blown away by his master's insight. He's got renewed purpose now. Berze smiles devilishly. A famous hero destroying human society from the inside? Now that would be entertainment. Gordon is totally on board. Indeed, my lord. Suddenly, a knock at the throne room doors. Who could it be? It's Ernyan, peeking in with her cute little elemental spirits and a tray of cookies. Berze warns her. Bad cookies mean a month in the dungeon. She just pushes the tray closer. Try one. He reluctantly takes a bite, expecting nothing from a human dessert. His go wide. This taste, it's absolutely insane. Ernyan pumps her fists. Got a reaction, she cheers. Success. Burza struggles to keep his cool. He forces out a grimacing compliment. For a human, not bad. Bro is trying so hard not to gush. Wait a second. He recognizes that dangerous taste. Did you put spirit herbs in these cookies? He asks. He realizes she's returning his previous gift. She must want something else. Arnyan giggles coyly, a mischievous look on her face. Our demon king is like, huh? Meanwhile, Hillen and his surviving party members are safely escorted down the mountain by Krutu and his feral orcs. At the fortress city of Hortonwork, they immediately use a teleportation circle. Next stop, Hilderan. Granada, on the other hand, is back at Red Hawk Mercenary HQ to dish out some much-needed discipline. He glares down. So you guys just ran at the first avalanche, abandoning me, your captain? A merc cries, pleading that even heroes died, so low-level guys like them had no choice but to bail. Granada isn't buying it. He smacks the guy down. Just then, a voice calls him. He turns. A blonde-haired woman in full-plate armor. My name is Kaede, she says. I'm a hero. Kaede explains she missed the expedition, but wants to join, hoping to seize the opportunity. This rookie has spirit. Granada is surprised that a hero was here, and even more surprised that his men were already bribed by a round of drinks. He promptly beats his men into submission. Then he tells Kaede expedition is already over. Kaede is shocked. Sir Hillen and the others already left Hortonwork? No way. Not one to be deterred, she boldly asks him to retell the story of their failure. After Granada's censored version of events, Kaede is stunned. The Demon King's tower. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. He thanks him, leaves a coin, and departs. Politeness level, expert. Granada watches her leave, a thoughtful look on his face. Amur scoffs. Clearly a naive rookie, he says. She'll be lucky not to get backstabbed. Granada decides to shadow this newbie knight. Soon she's joined a few more knights. Something's cooking here. He follows them to a secluded alley. Turns out it's an intervention. The soldiers call her princess and demand she return to her fiancé. No, she declares, I will live as a hero. Plot twist. The hero Kaede is a runaway princess. Royal family drama? Not his problem. He turns to leave. Not fast enough. A sword flashes to his throat. One of the knights confront him, demanding to know why he was spying. Uh-oh. Granada breaks into a cold sweat. If he's caught, his cover will be blown. The knight assumes he's a foreign spy and delivers a chilling verdict. Then you can't live. He's trapped and terrified. What on earth is he supposed to do now? This just got real. Things are getting dicey and Granada makes a break for it. The knight chases after him, absolutely refusing to let him escape. The other royal guards immediately spring into action, forming a protective barrier around Princess Kaede. Granada's weighing his options. Using his elven powers will definitely blow his cover, but at this rate, he might not have a choice. But hold on, the princess isn't backing down. No, I'm a hero too, she declares, ready to throw down. With time running out, Granada finally decides. He's unleashing his true abilities, cover be damned. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the mayhem. You can practically hear the condescension dripping from it. So this is where you've been wasting time. Then, with a literal flash of demonic energy, Burze makes his grand entrance, complete with horns and wings. Battered and bruised, Granada can't believe Burze is calling this slacking off, but our Demon King just scoffs, dismissing his injuries as mere scratches. Classic Burze. The knights instantly panic, assuming the Demon King is here for their princess. Princess? I did not even know, he deadpans. They accuse him of lying. What are you doing here then? Even Granada sees the logic in it. Burza just casually waves it off. Oh, he was just running an errand and just passing by. Yeah, right. Nobody's buying that, not even for a second. Okay, let's rewind a bit. Turns out his errand was actually a request from Princess Ernian back at the tower. She needed something called Seniel powder, which is apparently crucial for making contracts with spirits. Burze quickly recalls its origins. An elf named Seniel defected and created the powder to help humans bond with spirits. Lore drop complete. He questions why she needs it, and Ernian immediately puts on this weak, dramatic act. The tower has very little mana, and her spirits need it. Burze, of course, knows exactly what this is about. She's trying to contract a super high-rank spirit. Maybe? She replies. So busted. Burze remembers from his past life that Ernian made a famous spirit contract at age 27. She's trying to pull it off a whole 7 years early. Did living in the tower really change her that much? Grabbing one of her spirit herb cookies and leaving no crumbs, Burze agrees. If it strengthens his tower, he's totally on board. With that, he sets off on his errand, promising to handle it quickly. Which brings us back to the present chaos. Back in the present, Burze unleashes a massive wave of dark magic, completely shocking the princess and everyone around her. When the dust settles, Burze is genuinely surprised they survived. A hero is still a hero, I see, he comments, almost impressed. Princess Kaede stands, protected by a glowing aura, her resolve hardened. She declares quite dramatically that the battlefield is where she belongs. Then, she unleashes her royal family's ultimate fencing technique, the crescent slash. Get ready for a power-up, folks. Quick backstory. Kaede was a low-ranked princess, about to be married off to some old perverted king. Gross, right? Refusing that twisted fate, she trained relentlessly, determined to be seen as a hero, not just a princess. She figures defeating a demon king is her one-way ticket to freedom from her father's absurd orders. With a furious roar, Kaede vows to carve out her own destiny with her own two hands. You gotta admire the passion. Plot twist. Her ultimate attack is stopped cold. Berze catches the energy blade with his bare hand and casually shatters it. Yikes. Kaede is absolutely speechless, utterly stunned that her best move was, well, useless. Berze's voice echoes ominously. A hero won't die from just this, right? As he unleashes his truly overwhelming demonic power. That's a rhetorical question, by the way. He grins, realizing she's both a princess and a hero, a combination he finds incredibly useful for his own schemes. As her knights desperately try to intervene, a massive explosion of demonic energy engulfs the entire area. The aftermath is pure chaos. The city's in ruins, knights are scattered and injured, and survivors are just crying out in utter confusion. A lone survivor reports the horrifying truth. The Demon King was here, and he took the princess. Back at Berze's tower, the defeated Princess Kaede lies unconscious in the underground prison. New roommate alert. Berze introduces her, Kaede Jespine, the 9th Imperial Princess. Berze tells her she'll be living with Ernyan on the 4th floor. But why this new princess all of a sudden? Well, Berze just saw her on the way and picked her up. Like getting a donut on your way to work. He explains he needs to kidnap a princess once in a while to get magic points. He immediately catches himself, realizing he's getting a bit too comfortable sharing demonic secrets with his prisoner. Oops. Meanwhile, news of the kidnapping spreads like wildfire, sending shockwaves across the entire continent. Berze's definitely making a name for himself. At Hero headquarters, a mind-controlled Hillen Cargill is debriefed by the council. This is where the real manipulation begins. He perfectly plays the part of the failed hero, shamefully admitting he just couldn't find the tower. Oscar-worthy performance, honestly. The council, ever so magnanimous, absolves him of blame. Gotta keep those hero morale points high, right? They then ask for his opinion on a new expedition to rescue the recently kidnapped 9th princess. Talk about quick turnover. Following Berze's script, Hillen confidently advises against another large army. Instead, he suggests sending small scout teams to locate the tower first. Smart. He masterfully manipulates them, arguing that a truly strong Demon King wouldn't need to hide his tower. Bro is cooking a full meal for them. The council members buy it completely, concluding this new Demon King must be a weak coward, not a major threat. Hero Council is completely fooled. Following Hillen's advice, they postpone the all-out assault until the tower's location can be confirmed. Checkmate, for now. Hillen, still at Hero HQ, internally reports his success. He's used his authority to buy Bear's precious time. Now, the rest is up to the Demon King himself. Back at the tower, Berze gets a debrief from Gordon. He orders him to keep a very close eye on things. Berze lets out a massive sigh of relief. The Hero Guild was already prepping a full-scale offensive. Making Hillen his puppet? Definitely the right call. Everything's falling into place. With Hillen and Granada manipulating things on the outside, he can stop hero expeditions before they even begin. 2-for-1 special. And thanks to kidnapping Princess Kaede, his magic points are steadily climbing. Soon he might even be able to turn Hillen into a proper fighting force. Meanwhile, Roger is busy fortifying the tower's 1st floor, and Krutu expands his army of feral orcs in the mountains. Everyone's getting to work. With all these preparations, his tower will soon be an impenetrable fortress, a place no ordinary hero would dare challenge. Only then, when he's completely secure, can he finally turn his attention outwards and begin his true revenge against those despicable heroes who killed him. Oh, the irony. But for that, he still needs one critical ingredient, the Seniel powder. His destination, Amur, the city of Magie Engineering, a place absolutely overflowing with powerful mages and heroes. He admits to himself that trying to get what he needs from there without getting caught is going to be absurdly difficult. Well, this sounds like fun. And so Berze's quest for the Seniel powder brings him to Amur, the legendary city of magic engineering. On the fringes of its sprawling magic market, he finds a seemingly unassuming shop, Jetson's Paradise. Inside, the shop's owner, Jetson, is chilling, catching up on all the juicy city gossip. Suddenly, the door jingles, announcing a new customer. The shopkeeper offers a warm welcome, but Berze is completely unimpressed by this dump. He cuts straight to the chase. Seniel powder. Berze specifically picked this backwater shop. Why? Because Amur is absolutely swarming with powerful heroes and mages practically everywhere you look. Even with his demon energy suppressed, getting caught in a bustling market would be a disaster. Jetson immediately launches into a classic sales pitch, offering Berze a special price of 1 measly gold coin. Berze, ever the diplomat, cuts him off. Stop yelling. and that's still way too expensive. Jetson's eyes dart around nervously. He claims it's a brand new, super secret formula straight from the Mage Tower itself. He leans in close, a greedy grin on his face, totally convinced he's about to scam some rich noble out of every penny. Berze sees right through this obvious scam. He realizes the guy knows he's desperate and is trying to extort him. Berze's fist clenches. He debates just ending the guy right then and there. Before Berze can negotiate, the door jingles once more. A squad of armored dwarves stomps in, with one of them groaning. Seriously? Do I really have to start at a dump like this? Then his eyes widen in pure shock. It's them. As they enter, one dwarf guard says, Roger won't show up in crowded places, obviously, so they need to start here. Well, the princess is annoyed, complaining about having to visit this literal dump to find their guy. Anyway, they start asking Jetson if he's seen anyone suspicious. Berze recognizes those signature twin tails. Yep, it's Princess Louise Verft. He's hoping she doesn't recognize him from their last meeting. Jetson, ever the scumbag, tries another trick. He claims he has a memory loss disease that can only be cured by buying something from his shop. Louise is not having it and flashes her dagger at Jetson. Hold up! Murder is forbidden in the royal capital, Jetson yells. With voice trembling, he tries to compromise. How about this? Just buy something and I'll accept any punishment. Balls of steel, this one. Louise stares, stunned for a beat, then erupts into maniacal laughter. You're quite interesting, she cackles. All right, show me what you've got. Jetson presents the same purple potion, now calling it Archa powder and tripling the price to 3 gold. What an absolute scam artist. She buys it, tossing 3 gold onto the counter. Business done, she gets back to the actual mission. Now, have you seen a dwarf named Roger? After they leave, Berze asks Jetson if he wants to join the Golden Moon Guild. The guy scoffs, claiming the guild is bankrupt. He's too good for those punks. Berze just gives him a chilling smile. Oh, you've got no choice now, because the customer you just scammed was Princess Louise Verfith. Bro drops the fake potion he just gave the princes. Oh no, consequences. Jetson's face drains of all color. He stammers her nickname. That lady was the mad dog of Verf and shakily asks Berze what he wants. Berze makes a simple offer. Join the guild for 1 gold a month. Refuse, he says, and I'll bring Louise right back here. A classic carrot and stick, but with a very large stick. Jetson puts on a pathetic show of begging before his face twists into a defiant sneer. Did you really think I'd say yes to that? He calls Berze's bluff, screaming at him to leave. No princess would ever come near his dingy shop. As you wish, Berze says calmly, turning and walking straight out the door. A moment later, an utterly furious, flame-wreathed Louise steps back into the shop. His face says it all. That was absolutely the wrong move. A blood-curdling scream echoes through the street. In another shop, Berze casually strolls away. Mission accomplished. Turns out Senile powder wasn't as rare as that scumbag trader made it out to be. Suddenly, Louise calls out, surprised he's still hanging around. She and her companion thank him for helping them get their money back. Berze asks, what exactly did you do to that miserable shopkeeper? Louise says she wanted to rip his heart out, but due to laws in this country, she could only teach him a small lesson. Berze just shakes his head. Yep, still as wonderfully eccentric as he remembers. Then her words hit him hard. Did she just say heart? Berze asks if the Roger they were looking for was a blacksmith. Bingo. Berze dangles a necklace in front of them, asking if it's connected to Roger. The dwarf guard recognizes it instantly as one of Roger's early, unmistakable works. Berze weaves a perfectly convincing lie. He met a starving Roger in the Ormus tropical forest and was given the necklace as thanks for sharing supplies. Louise is so over-the-top grateful she wants to throw a 5-day party for him. Instead, she gives him a prestigious emblem, exchangeable for the best gear in the entire Dwarven Kingdom. As walk away, the dwarf guard asks about her next move. Her face twists into a furious, manic grin. This time, Roger definitely won't escape, she vows. Watching her leave, Berze has a sudden, crucial realization. Her talk of ripping out a heart has reminded him of something he'd completely forgotten from his past life. Back in his past life, around this exact time, the Beast Demon King Droxen found and absorbed the heart of a mystic beast that gave him immense power. Right now, if he fought a heavily armed opponent head-on, he'd barely scrape by with a win. Not good enough for a Demon King. To get his revenge on those heroes and truly survive, he needs to get stronger. And he needs to get stronger fast. And now, Berze has a cunning plan. He'll send Louise straight to Ormus, to the infamous Tower of Beasts. He'll pit the Mad Dog herself against the monstrous Demon King of Beasts, Draxen Doldolf. And while those two absolute powerhouses tear each other to shreds, he'll swoop in and take the ultimate prize for himself. A bit of backstory here, folks. After syncing with the Mana Phantom, Berze's tower scored 2 sweet new upgrades. Now he can control his tower remotely from anywhere, and better yet, instantly teleport items. Berze hits up Gordon from a rooftop, telling him to keep an eye on the tower while he's out. He instantly puts his new toy to work, sending the Seniel powder to Ernyan for a modest fee. Back home, Ernyan is absolutely thrilled, cradling that supreme-grade powder. Gordon reminds her this isn't just any gift, it's from the Demon King himself, so she better use it right. Urzi then drops some new orders for his other guest princess, Kaide. She can chill on the 4th floor, and Gordon was to teach her swordsmanship. The training is brutal. Kaide charges, screaming threats, but Gordon parries her easily, probably barely even trying. Burza's next move? He purchases a Hell Forge and tasks Roger with beefing up the 1st floor's defenses. New forge materializes, and Roger? Yeah, he completely loses his tiny dwarven mind. He's utterly starstruck, marveling at this ultimate gift from his Demon King. With newfound devotion, he promises to forge literally anything Burze's heart desires. Burze then checks in on his feral orcs, because gotta keep tabs on the grunt work. Gordon reports their forces have doubled, now strong enough to hunt most monsters in the mountains. Satisfied, Burze ends the call, pretty stoked about his super convenient new remote control powers. Just as he's about to hit up his puppet hero, Hillen Cargill beats him to the punch. Hillen reports the successful takeover of the Golden Moon Merchant Group, now secretly running under Burze's Dark Knights and Mages. His 10-star hero rep made the power transition seamless, proving his brand is still killer despite his failure. Burr simply replies, "Good work," then drops his next order like it's nothing. He tells Hillen to inform Granada. The merchant group will fund buying every single elf slave on the entire continent. Bro is cooking, and it's looking like a feast. To help with this, he's sending over the super shady merchant, Jetson. This, folks, is the same idiot who tried to scam both Burza and Princess Louise. What a genius. And if Jetson doesn't play ball, an assassin will be sent to take him out, no questions asked. Message received loud and clear, complete with uncontrollable trembling. The call ends, and Jetson vanishes from his totally trashed shop. Granada gets the news and is utterly floored. "You want to buy every one of my kind?" In the courtyard of Horton Walk, Granada agrees, promising to round up his people ASAP. He's relieved to save his people, but secretly boiling that the Demon King will use them as spies, just like he's doing to Granada. Meanwhile, the Red Hawk mercenaries are grumbling about Granada's brutal training regimen. Oh my, Granada looks distracted. They use it as a chance to escape. Still in his existential dilemma, Granada ponders if it's better to live as slaves to humans or dying alone. Whatever, the Demon King treats them better anyway. Decision made, he snaps his fingers, unleashes his power on the now very regretful mercenaries. Glowing green vines erupt from the ground, binding them as they scream for mercy. Too late, fellas. As if nothing just happened, he goes back to Hillen, asking what their master's up to right now. Well, even Hillen's not sure. He just said he was out hunting for treasure. Specifically, in the super humid tropical rainforest kingdom of Ormus. And guess who else is there, absolutely seething with frustration? Our twin-tail Princess Louise. Ormus has ordered her to pull her troops back, but Louise flat-out refuses to leave without Roger. She declares there's one last spot to check, the totally forbidden Mountain of Beasts. Her guards protest. "A princess, that's the Beast Demon King's turf," but she's not even sweating it. She boasts that if anyone messes with the dwarf royal family, they'll face war with every single nation that buys their weapons. Talk about leverage. She even brings up the cautionary tale of a demon king who got wiped out 200 years ago for messing with a dwarf prince. Ignoring her guard's hesitation, she barks orders to follow her, or she'll literally rip their heads off. Meanwhile, inside the Beast Demon King's tower, a subordinate is full-on panicking. He reports that the dwarven princess, Louisa, is getting close. Draxon is stunned, thinking, what in the world is that crazy princess doing here? He briefly worries she's after the mystic beast's heart he's currently digging up, but quickly dismisses that idea. Heart? A source of immense mystic power, submerged in magma, and he's this close to claiming it. Furious at this interruption, he orders his troops to stop her, no matter what it takes. But here's the kicker. They can't kill her, or even badly injure her. Man, that's going to be an insanely difficult order. You want to die? A voice thunders, stopping Princess Louise in her tracks. Max Ormus blocks her path, declaring the area off limits. This is the Beast Demon King's territory. There's a high risk of being killed by Demon Tribe. He smiles menacingly. "No one would dare touch me," Louise counters. "Dwarves aren't very smart, huh?" The prince grins. He reminds her how, 200 years ago, the kingdom next to a Demon King's castle absolutely cashed in by selling supplies to the heroes. Max Ormus continues that if Louise dies here today, killed by quote-unquote the Demon King's army, Ormus would become incredibly rich. It finally sinks in. "Son of a witch," Louise mutters. Whipping his spear around with a manic grin, Max gives the chilling order to kill everyone. Surrounded by Ormus soldiers, Louise remains totally defiant. Gripping her massive axe, she screams, "Come first, whoever wants to die, you cowardly monkeys." Meanwhile, the Beast Demon King Draxon receives an urgent report. The dwarves are in deep trouble. He knows exactly what's happening. Ormus plans to kill Louisa and frame him, igniting another war just like the one 200 years ago. It's a classic trap. He desperately orders his forces to save the dwarf princess at all costs. Back in the jungle, the battle absolutely rages. The Ormus forces are being held back, but barely. The terrain is awful, they can't win a frontal assault. Their only hope is to open a path for her to escape. Luis isn't having any of that. Roaring in frustration, she declares she'll finish them herself. Max Ormus just laughs, mocking her turtle defense. He boasts, "I'll end it all with a single blow." Before he can launch his sword, a purple aura envelops him. Are the Demon King's army here? Berze, hidden by his mask, calmly remarks the Ormus attack definitely wasn't in his plans. Human beings were so complicated. With a cold, sinister smile, he tells the prince, "You will die here, Ormus." Prince Max orders his men to finish off Princess Louise while he deals with Berze. This distraction is all she needs. Princess Louise, now a raging inferno, bats away spears like they're mosquitoes and beelines straight to the prince. "How dare you look away from me," she rages. "You can't believe she's so fast? Maybe he should have dealt with her first." Before Max can even blink, Berze's demonic energy snakes out and binds him. The prince is stunned. He just got captured that easily? With Prince Max glued to the spot, Louise absolutely demolishes him like he's a cardboard cutout. After the carnage, she looks around, a bit confused. The demon who captured the prince, poof, gone. Naturally, the leftover soldiers then turn on her, calling her the prince's killer. But it's payback time for the dwarves, and they're ready to rumble. Watching the chaos from a safe distance, Berze has a satisfied grin. Yep, all according to plan. He turns to Droxen's tower. "Now it's your turn, Demon King of Beasts." Let's rewind 5 minutes. Over at the tower, everyone's watching the smackdown in the forest. Droxen instantly clocks it. Demonic energy? He knows this isn't one of his guys. Someone is definitely invading his turf. The timing is way too perfect. With a princess and prince brawling nearby, this whole thing has to be a setup. He prepares to check it out himself, but his subordinates return with, get this, the enemy Ormus soldiers. Droxen starts to panic, fearing history is about to repeat itself. His minions explain that when they arrived, the princess was surrounded by these soldiers. They tried to help, but the princess single-handedly massacred the enemy forces. They couldn't rescue her because she didn't need rescuing. Droxen is beyond annoyed by this turn of events that he gives each of his men a bonk on the head. But wait, there's more. His men confirm that the Prince of Ormus was indeed killed by Luis in the brawl. Droxen weighs his options. Killing the remaining soldiers would earn plenty of demonic points, but could also start a whole war. So he decides to send them back alive to report what really happened, ensuring he doesn't get framed. Smart play, Droxen. As for the demon intruder, they found no trace of him, sending Droxen into yet another fit of rage. Realizing a stealth specialist is at play, he decides to pull out a special technique, super sensory maximization. By concentrating all his demonic energy into his senses, he can detect even the faintest traces of stealth magic. Basically, he turns on God mode for his nose. And just like that, he finds it, the tracks of an unknown demon. He follows the trail, positive this intruder was after the dwarf princess. The scent points towards the volcano. He asks his scouts which direction Luis fled. It's in the complete opposite direction. It hits him like a ton of bricks. The fight, the demonic energy, it was all a distraction to keep him away from the volcano. The real target was never the princess. It was the prize hidden deep inside, the freaking heart of the mystic beast. But it's too late. Berze, the ultimate troll, is already there, casually flying over a river of molten lava. Because this wasn't ordinary lava, Droxen needed to find a way to drain it to reach the heart of the mystic beast. But for Berze, thanks to his scales of the black flame dragon, he can just jump in unharmed. Uh-oh, he's got company. A tiger demon beast leaps out and takes a swipe. Berze effortlessly blocks and grabs the shocked beast. "Let's go together," he says, with maximum villain energy. He plunges back into the lava, dragging the tiger with him until it dissolves. In his past life, Droxen gained insane regeneration. He always wondered what kind of beast Droxen absorbed. Now he knows it wasn't just a beast, it was the corpse of a phoenix. He remembers reading about them back at the academy, divine beings capable of crossing dimensions. Phoenixes, he learned, reign as finalizers in their own dimensions. Pretty intimidating stuff. And any demon king who absorbs one becomes powerful enough to carve their name into history. Like, legendary powerful. He thanks past life Droxen for this find. Overcome with manic joy, he shouts, "It will finally be mine," and reaches out to claim his ultimate prize. Meanwhile, the real Droxen is absolutely furious. Who is the bastard that discovered my phoenix? Dismisses Berze immediately. A rookie demon king could never pull off something this elaborate. His barrels past his guards, still trying to figure out who the actual culprit is. He runs through the suspects. Nah, Ugar's way too stupid. And Reyna is a frost demon. A fire phoenix would basically be poison to her. The horrifying realization he knows who's left. He arrives at the entrance, only for his subordinate to report the impossible. The tiger guardian just willingly jumped into the lava. "That bastard is trying to steal my phoenix. "Get him out now," he screams, trying to jump into the lava. But of course, it's too late. A massive fiery explosion erupts from the volcano. The pillar of light is so immense that everyone from all corners of the land sees it. Droxen screams one name in pure rage: "Jason, you son of a witch," as a magnificent fiery phoenix rises into the sky. After that absolute inferno, Burz wakes up in a seriously strange, vibrant forest, totally disoriented. See, he planned to stash the phoenix's body, but its power just shot into him before he could even blink. The last thing he clearly remembers? Being blasted sky-high by that massive volcano eruption. Now, for some bizarre reason, he's chilling with a full squad of super-friendly woodland creatures. Talk about a glow-up, but something feels off. Like this isn't even his own body anymore, you know? He catches his reflection in a pool of water and is absolutely stunned. Who the heck is this? Meanwhile, far away in Ormus' palace, Princess Louise is busy reporting to the king. She's spinning a tale about how the prince and his warriors saved her from the Demo King's goons. It was an honorable death, the princess declares, but the king of Ormus calls it total garbage. With tears in his eyes, he orders, "Hit up the Heroes Guild, get an expedition ready to take down the Demon King of Beasts." Back in the forest, Burze gets a quick call from his favorite new puppet, Hillen Cargill. Hillen, totally weirded out by Burze's new look, reports that a huge hero expedition is forming up against the Demon King of Beasts. Leading this massive force, none other than Razel Sharnt, a legit top-tier 10-star fire mage. Her vice commander is Balraf Disrode, another 10-star hero who clawed his way to the peak with pure martial arts. All in, 200 heroes are part of a 500-man force, planning a direct assault on the Tower of Beasts. Burze, now back to his usual self, finds it pretty interesting that out of 200 heroes, only 2 are 10-star powerhouses. That means there's a whole shady group working behind the scenes who don't want the Demon King of Beasts dead. Of course, because to humans, a Demon King's tower is basically a goldmine, folks. Demon corpses, monster parts, everything sells for a high price. They're not about to let their cash cow get destroyed. Burzy just gives a knowing look. Humans really are something else, huh? So Burzy gives Hillen his new mission: join the expedition. He'll drop Draxen's weakness so Hillen can land the killing blow. After all, a hero who's taken out 2 Demon Kings? That's a PR win waiting to happen. Easy public trust. Hillen gets a little too big for his britches, asking if Burzy can even control him once he gets that strong. Burz's death glare is all the answer Hillen needs. You think absorbing 2 Demon Kings is enough to fight me? Absolutely chilling, folks. A terrified Hillen immediately promises to get the job done. Yikes. Just as he's about to head out, another call rings in. It's Gordon. Seeing Burze's new fiery red hair, Gordon totally freaks out. Burze quickly reminds him who's boss, Stone Cold. Gordon reports an emergency summons just blasted out from the Tower of Beasts. Burze is legitimately shocked. Droxen is calling a meeting? Yep, right at that very moment, the other Demon Kings were already popping through portals, making their grand entrance. At the door, Droxen's already fuming, wondering why Burze and Jason are late. Whoever no-shows is definitely the prime suspect here. Back in the woods, Burze takes flight. He totally let his guard down, and now he's out of time. Gordon's still on comms. Since Master is in Ormus already, I'll head on through the portal. No, don't, Burze yells. I'm heading right there now. Burze knows that showing up on foot from the nearby jungle is way too suspicious. But arriving late? That would make him a prime suspect. He needs to step through the portal with Gordon. Pushing himself to the absolute limit, he rockets through the air, but it's still not fast enough. The clock is ticking. Suddenly, the phoenix heart inside him awakens. He tries to suppress this massive power, not wanting to drain his mana, but the heart just flares to life regardless. Impossible! This thing is actually still alive inside his chest. Plot twist, am I right? This untamed power sends him absolutely blasting across the sky at an uncontrollable, blistering speed. He crashes into the side of the tower and face plants on the snowy ground. What an entrance. He made it on time, barely, but he still can't control that crazy phoenix power. He just collapses, totally exhausted. As the phoenix power fades, his demonic wings emerge instead. He barks at Gordon to get down here, fast. It's showtime. Time to head to the Tower of Beasts. Back in Ormus, the hero expedition is already buzzing with excitement over the famous mage, Razel Sharnt. They're all fanboying over her, but Razel, she couldn't be bothered less. If you're done fawning, get lost, you losers. She's got that ice-cold queen vibe, for sure. The simps love it, whispering that they'll never wash out their ears. Razel just sighs. How is she supposed to win with this squad of absolute clowns? As the hero expedition gathers, another big shot arrives. Our favorite sleeper agent, Hillen, strides right up to Commander Razel Sharnt, announcing he's here to help out. Razel is not impressed. With a sneer, she asks why he's not rocking his dirty ring. Hillen nervously tries to brush it off, but inside he's totally panicking. This lady knows exactly how he pulled of that demon king of lust kill. She starts blabbing his entire rep is toast. Roselle declares she will be the one to finish off the demon king of beasts, telling him to keep his filthy hands to himself. He just flashes a big phony smile and agrees, but in his head, the demon king of beasts' head is mine. Back to Berze and Gordon. They're teleporting right into Draxon's lush jungle territory at exactly the same time as Jason. Deus, Cockmundo, you're just in time. Draxon rumbles, inviting them in. Berze is relieved. Looks like he made it just in time. Inside the Tower of Beasts, the emergency meeting is already popping off. Ugar, the rock guy, wastes no time. Why the urgent summon? He demands. Demon King of Lies casually drops in a guess. Probably the hero expedition in Ormus, he muses. Draxon cuts the small talk. Let's be real, he snarls. One of you sent a high-ranking demon into my lands, and then stole the phoenix corpse I was about to absorb. But wait, there's more. The culprit also offed a prince, and, oh yeah, started a whole hero expedition against Draxon. Talk about a hostile takeover. Reyna and Jason connect the dots, stirring up heroes and losing a mystic beast. Folks, that screams all-out war. Draxon growls, someone's trying to off me, but I'm not going down alone. To find the traitor, he's buying the key to the black box. The black box is basically an ancient digital video recorder for demon kings. It records everything. Super expensive, usually pointless, but a perfect lie detector. No deleting your browsing history here. Berze is sweating hard. If his black box gets opened, his whole scheme is exposed. Game over. Draxon springs his trap. To open a black box, he needs the owner's permission. He asks, knowing only the guilty would say no. Bro is cooking. Berze is officially cornered. One by one, Reyna, Jason, and Ugar all grant permission. All eyes land on Berze. He has no choice. Permission granted, he says, raising his hand. Draxon flashes a satisfied grin. Very good, he declares, ending the meeting. He'll share the results later. But Draxon can't drop 10 million points on the key just yet. Not with a hero invasion at his gates. He'll wait until it's over. Then he's opening Berze's and Jason's boxes. Wait, Jason too? Spicy. Meanwhile, back in his snowy mountains, Berze knows the clock is ticking. He needs to eliminate Draxon before he can open the box. First things first, a tower inspection from the first floor. And what a first floor it is. Roger has gone full-blown mad scientist and is now the official floor boss. He's cackling like a maniac perched on his masterpiece, the Inferno Catapult Mark I. He's hyped about all its features. It's a mobile tank with multi-elemental attacks, insane targeting, and condensed mana shells. His ultimate weapon, baby. Berze is stunned. He did tell the dwarf to make anything he wanted, but this is insane. Gordon confirms that the dwarf has gone cuckoo, but the weapon was legit. Fine, leave him and let's see how far he can take this, Berze commands. Next up is the second floor. Floor boss, Kade Jespini. She greets them with a furious scream and an offensive attack. Berze, cool as ice, shatters the attack with one hand. Still the same, he deadpans. But hold up, Kaide's still got something up her sleeve. Kaide leaps forward, going for her strongest move, the waning moonbreak. Berze just looks bored. Little better, still you need more training. He grins as he blocks the attack effortlessly. A loud scream rips through the second floor as Kaide is obliterated. Again. But hold up, wasn't Kaide supposed to be on the fourth floor? Gordon explains he temporarily moved Kaide. Princess Ernion is prepping a summon on the fourth floor. Summon? Berze looks intrigued. They head up to floor 4. There, Ernan, the fourth floor boss, stands in a glowing magic circle in the middle of a powerful summoning. She calls to the great spirit of water, offering her blood and soul for a contract. She begs the spirit to answer, calling its name, Nairuniel. The high spirit of water appears, looking surprised. Nairuniel is impressed, a human summoning her true form inside a demon king's tower? Good, she simply says. Invoking the primordial covenant, she extends a hand. I, Nairuniel, accept Ernan Hilderan as my sole companion. Hands touch, and blinding light fills the room. Contract sealed. Ernion floats peacefully, embraced by power. The ritual drains Ernion completely. She faints, but Berze is right there to catch his princess. She stirs in his arms, still dazed, and looks up. Berze just gives a slight smile. Good job, he says. Glad the first didn't miss it. Ernion is overjoyed, thanking him profusely. All thanks to your Seniel powder. Then, with a sudden, serious look, she confesses, I love you, Demon King. Wait, what? She completely freaks out, yelling, I didn't say that. Berze is just stunned. What in the world is happening? Turns out she's right. A tiny blue spirit pops out, giggling. She loves the Demon King. This, folks, is Nairuniel, the high spirit of water. Her hobbies? Romance novels? Her first question? So, when are you two dating? And not the post-summoning vibe anyone expected. Ernion is completely mortified by this nosy little spirit. Dating? What are you talking about? Ernian practically combust, but Neruniel, the ultimate shipper, just casually drops that Berza and Ernian's love story is already legendary in the spirit realm. She just keeps going, asking when they're making it official. Ernian practically begs her to vanish, but then Berza cuts in. He asks Neruniel, "How do I look to you right now?" Smooth, Berze, very smooth. Fiery feathers float down as his hair ignites, transforming into a blazing red. Neruniel is speechless. The spirit quickly realizes Berze isn't radiating demonic energy anymore. It's pure mana, like a spirit. Berze clenches his fist. If he can fool a high spirit, then other demon kings and heroes won't detect his true identity either. Grinning confidently, he thinks, "At this rate, I might just take him out myself." Oh, Berze, you mad lad. Ernian is completely dumbfounded. A demon king killing another demon king? That's definitely a new one. Burz is making his way towards his new scheme. Suddenly, Gordon's face pops up on a magic screen, and you guessed it, he's absolutely losing it. Are you serious? What kind of demon king goes out to kill another? I thought I explained already, Burze says. Flashback to when Gordon asks where he's headed. Burze calmly says, to kill Draxon. The sheer absurdity of that statement hits Gordon. Burze reminds him, I thought you stopped questioning my decisions. But Gordon insists this is a whole new level of crazy. Burze knows the stakes are high. If he doesn't take out Draxon before that black box opens, he's toast. Gordon argues it's way too dangerous. He reminds Burze hasn't overcome the dimensional energy that nerfs all new demons in this world. Lore drop, dimensions are basically hostile to intruders. It's like being crushed by dimensional energy as soon as you step into it. So a level 666 demon from their home realm, they get nerfed down to a pathetic level 1 grunt here. Insta-prey for heroes. The Demon King's tower was built to fight this. It's a bridge channeling energy directly from the demon realm. By beefing up their tower, a Demon King slowly gets their immense power back. Basically, tower height equals Demon King strength. Phallic? Sure. Gordon points out the fatal flaw in Burze's plan. Draxon's Tower of Beasts is 13 floors high. Burze's? Only 5. Inside a stronger Demon King's home base, victory is basically a meme. Good luck, Burze. Burze knows all this. He admits that with his Phoenix heart still a bit wonky, fighting any Demon King would be tough. If I were to fight alone, that is. Gordon's jaw drops. That's right. Under the alias Pale, Burze declares he's personally joining the hero expedition against Draxon. Talk about playing both sides. Meanwhile, in the jungle, a hero party is in full retreat, barely fending off a relentless horde of demons. Hillen Cargill is tending to a wounded soldier when a mysterious red-haired man approaches. Burze, in full hero mode as Pale, he tells Hillen to step back. Hillen reports they assaulted the Tower of Beasts, and as Burze instructed, he attacked Draxon's weakness, his tail. So far, so good. But then the plan went south. In the chaos, Expedition Commander Lady Roselle was overwhelmed and severely injured. The whole expedition was a bust. That's it. He is officially completely screwed. But Hillen surprises him. They actually dealt massive damage. Draxon's wounded, his forces thinned out. This means they have an opening. They just need to hit him again before Draxon recovers. The man's got a plan. Hale asks about Balraf Disroad, the hero meant to protect the mage. Hillen spits that the coward bailed right before the main assault. Just then, Commander Rosa Charnt appears. She reveals Disroad's sponsors are the ones profiting from the tower, calling them money-grubbing sellouts. Peak corruption, folks. Pale greets her, then immediately asks if she's ready to attack the tower again. No small talk for our boy Burze. Roselle, gripping her wounded eye, absolutely see this. I will kill the Beast Demon King. I absolutely cannot back down. Our girl is out for blood. Hillen despairs, saying they can't fight again since they're totally out of potions. But Pale just calls that a simple problem. He pulls out his subspace, absolutely stacked with healing potions. They won't regrow limbs, but they're more than enough to get everyone back in fighting shape. Stunned by his endless resources, Rosal eyeballs him with suspicion. Who are you, and why are you going this far? Fair questions. Roselle questions the strange heat radiating from Pale, wondering how he cultivated such pure energy. Our boy's res is through the roof. He glances at the rest of the hero expedition, seeing them completely demoralized and defeated. Potions won't fix that. Burze knows broken morale needs more than a few healing potions. So, he decides it's showtime. A tiny, chirping firebird materializes from his cloak. He tells it to follow him quietly. Suddenly, the heroes are bathed in a warm, surprising light. A glimmer of hope, perhaps? Rosal and Hillen jump to their feet, absolutely stunned by this sudden burst of intense energy. Jaw-dropping stuff. Who am I, you ask? Burze says, levitating as a colossal, fiery phoenix erupts behind him. I am Pale, owner of the Phoenix. What a show, my friends. He turns to them, eyes blazing with purpose. And I have come to kill the Demon King of Beasts. Rosal is completely speechless. A phoenix? She realizes this must be that overwhelming energy that covered the sky earlier. She can't believe it. With pure mana, this guy rivals 10-star heroes. She wonders where this absolute Chad came from. But seeing this insane power, the other heroes' faces shift from despair to grim determination. That's how you rally the troops. Razel realizes that with him on their side, they might actually stand a chance against the Beast Demon King. Let's go! That's a wrap on this recap. Hit that subscribe button to help us keep pumping out awesome content. Catch you in the next one.